That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me fuck all that shit, just let me go. Owers and tastemakers make us no chaser, gets the blood flowing like a fucking pacemaker. Cut the middleman and inhale the vapors, madman. Old 10 Don Drapers, cut the jukebox on, make the woofers blow. We gon' sit here until all them heifers go. Holler at the tens and spend a little dough. Not on them, no, they can buy their own drinks. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me fuck all that shit, just let me go.
You know, for, I would say, a little over 3 weeks since this whole pandemic started, because I can't say the name of the thing. Fuck you, YouTube. Sure, you're in bed with CNN and Fox News as well. I have been stressing about this whole thing since it started. And then I did research last night. And then I was finally able to have proper sleep for after 3 weeks of worrying about this bullshit. So today is time to expose the media for the lying scum they truly are. How do I know they're scum? How do I know they're overblowing it out of proportion on purpose to gain that oh so mighty dollar? Well, with their own tracking device on this fucking disease, they exposed themselves. Now, when you first go on the I'm sorry, let me correct myself. The Thing tracker.
The Vid-19 tracker.
Right. Yeah, thank you. That'll work. The Vid-19 tracker. You will notice that everything's covered in red. This is what they're highlighting purposely. They're not giving you the numbers. They are highlighting the map just covered in seas of red. That's what they're doing. But if you look beyond that, but if you look beyond that and you go over to every single other country, you'll know that it's not as bad as they're making it out to be. So I'm going to start off with the most affected area in all of Europe right now, Italy. So you know how Italy has got this whole shutdown thing right now?
Yep.
Now, I'm going to compare the number of people that have this to the entire population, and you'll see the grand scope of how big this thing's overblown. So, the number of cases in Italy right now that are active are 28,710. 4,025 recovered, and only 2,978 fatalities. So a little under 3,000. Compared to, and actually, you know what? Here's a better way to go about this. This properly. I need to go to the actual map. The way I posted it on Team All Elite. That will probably help me. Excuse me while I get this up, because I want to get this population up right now. New York. Yeah, I'll get to New York later. Here's Italy's population. So there's 28,000. There's like a little under 29,000 cases in Italy. Over 60 million in the population. Something's up with that.
How many cases did you say there were too?
Well, a little under 29,000.
And the 6 million people in the population.
Yep. It gets better. It gets better. Let's go to Ireland. So one of the countries in the UK that cannot travel to WrestleMania this year. At least I'm assuming. Active cases for the vid-19 or the thing. 359 with only 5 recovered cases, so that's a bit worrying, but only 2 fatalities, which isn't that bad compared to 6.57 million people in the country. California, 870 cases. Yeah, you remember that whole bedridden country? So this is all the cases combined, including active, recovered, and fatal cases. So there's 848 active cases, 6 recovered cases, 16 fatalities.
And this is California?
This is California, the state that shut down.
The state that has the number one worst in out of all the states, if I'm not mistaken.
Here's the best part. So that's the number. There's only 848, right? 39.54 million.
Was this?
It gets better. Here's Mexico. Mexico, 114 active cases with 4 recoveries and no fatalities. A whole country. 129.16 million in the entire population.
A country not well known for their healthcare system
or their hygiene.
Yes.
Just pointing it out there. Japan, one of the bedridden countries again. Ready for this?
Yeah,
this is a little more serious, but it's not as serious when you compare it to how many people are actually in the country. There are 700 active cases with over 191 recoveries and 32 fatalities. Only 32 out of 126.79 million.
And
we're not even done. We're going to get to the big one. Here's South Korea.
I want to say New Japan Pro Wrestling had to cancel the whole world. What is it? The whole thing.
For what? For what, you idiots? For what? For what? You really couldn't get masks on and, put gloves on their hands and have everybody cough in their fucking elbow? You really couldn't do that? Really couldn't? Here's South Korea. Here's a neighbor of China. 6,527 active cases. 1,947 have recovered with only 91 fatalities out of 51.26 million people in that entire country. It gets better. Here's China. Here's the big one. Here's China.
Where it started.
7,263 active cases. That's active. Ready for the recovery rate? 70,420. With only 3,245 fatalities. While that number is big, it's not when you compare it to this number. 1.39 billion in the entire country. Let's continue, shall we? Active cases in New Jersey, where Blood and Guts was originally supposed to take place for AEW.
Yes.
Active cases of the thing are 421 with 1 recovery rate and only 5 fatalities out of 9.01 million people. Woohoo! Oh, we get better. Here's New York, their neighbor, where they were supposed to be in Rochester this week, but they had to move to Where's the
Orlando.
freaking Daily Palace?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, Florida. They had to move to this week with no crowd, by the way. Even though it was still a good show.
I haven't seen it yet. So
Active cases. Ready for the active cases. 3,062 recovered cases, 1 and only 20 fatalities in New York, compared to 8.54 billion. More if you count the tourists.
Right.
And finally, where you're at, Owen, for the week, New Hampshire.
Probably 2 weeks.
39 cases with no recoveries, but also no fatalities out of 1.34 million people.
To be fair, New Hampshire is very distant. It takes a couple hours to get to the nearest town if you're lucky.
Right.
Things are distant in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So that has to be taken into account as well.
But you know what also needs to be taken into account? Only New York City be traveled in, not the entire fucking state, including Rochester. Just saying. Here's the final number. Here's the globe. This is the entire world now. Currently, there are 7.65 billion people as of 2018, according to Wikipedia. And normally they get these numbers pretty well off because they just kind of go with what everybody else says. So it's 7.65 billion. Ready for the total number of cases for active, recovered, and fatal in the world?
What state is this? New Hampshire?
This is the entire globe. This is not just a state.
Okay.
Not a country. The entire globe, compared to with 7.65 billion people, has only 229,383 cases. 134,179 are active. 85,862 have recovered. And fatal cases are only 9,342 compared to, and I'll say it again, 7.65 billion people around the fucking globe. You want to know what one of those recovered cases is? And that just goes to show you how overblown this shit is. Jim Cornette. He had it at its fucking infancy stage. But this was all starting to be discovered. He had it. He recovered, and he has the worst health problems out of anybody in the world right now. And if he's telling you, a full-on Democrat, mind you, is telling you this is blown out of proportion, stop fucking panicking. That says a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is fucking outrageous. Out-fucking-rageous. This whole fucking thing. You want to know what else is outrageous about this whole thing? The political, it's indicative, and I've said this already, it's indicative of how this political system has failed us.
Speaking of that, I believe she's a senator, maybe governor, Pelosi.
Right.
When this whole thing was starting, from just the information that I've been able to only discover, I can't remember what my source is, but I'll probably find it and I'll put it in the description of the video.
Right.
And I'm not a big fan of the man to begin with, but when it comes to a situation that needs this type of stuff, it's needed. She was denying Trump full power access.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. And here's the thing. This is where the political system fails us, on both ends. Because Trump has no idea what the fuck he was doing anyway. And he did, and while Pelosi stopped him, Trump also fired his crisis team, which was hired by Obama. which would have solved this, and in fact solved Ebola. So, moral of the story here is,
don't trust your politics.
not all Republicans are bad, and not all Democrats are bad. So this whole one has to be worse than the other is completely fucking asinine, because look at where we fucking ended up now. The media fucking got one over on us, and they're making the fucking almighty dollar while all of us are suffering and don't know what the fuck the next fucking meal is 3 weeks from now. Because they blew it out of fucking proportion. This is bigger than fucking wrestling at this fucking point.
Well, it sucks too, because like schools and such have to close down, and like I might not even have like a graduation ceremony for like, you know, when I graduate this semester from college and such.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait until the next following year to actually walk the stage.
I know, yeah.
So, I want to put this in perspective. This has affected everybody because the media wanted it to affect everybody. It didn't need to affect everybody. This is what they wanted. Period. They purposely ignored these numbers. They purposely ignored the facts of the actual disease itself. They ignored all of this. They ignored every single bit of this information. And all they provided you was this big red map of the globe showing you how serious we should be taking this. When in reality, this has nothing compared to H1N1 that killed a shit ton more people. And I hate politics. You think I love talking about this? I hate it. This is the last thing I want to talk about. I never, ever wanted to bring up politics in wrestling, period. But it's gotten to the point now where I have to. I physically have to, because it's affected everyone's fucking life. And I've even looked at myself in the fucking mirror wondering, why the fuck didn't I say anything? And then I had to rethink myself. Oh yeah, because no one would fucking listen to the fucking autistic kid. The fucking one soul fucking being they would have to listen to a politician that actually talks sense, and even that's fucking outlandish. Because clearly, if they did, they would have by now with other situations. This is indicative of the political system fucking failing us. You can trace this all the way back, and I've been thinking about this for fucking years. You can trace this all the way back to Columbine, 1999. What do we do about the gun? What do we do about the gun crisis? One side decided, oh, we should not bear any guns, and the other side, well, we should just bar guns completely. Was there ever a middle ground, guys? Tell me, was there ever a middle ground with that case? Was there?
No.
Was there, Mike? Was there a middle ground with that?
And you're forgetting about the important bit to this as well. The media, what was the target of the time? Let's put that in perspective. What was the target? What did they attack? Who are the people that they attacked more than any other? The music genre, the movie genre, and the video game genre.
Yep.
That's what they attacked.
They don't come up with solutions. And you want to know something? Fox News ain't no fucking better, because they just attack the people that fucking do that instead of trying to come up with a solution for the problems. They do. They really do. Instead of working together, all they do is argue. It's one thing if us argue about something stupid like that. At the end of the day, we're not running the fucking country. They are! They are!
I believe, and this is just my own point of view, and if you disagree, you can disagree. That's fine and fair, and good luck with it. I think that there needs to be a complete overhaul of the governmental section to begin with.
100% agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
100% agree. Dude, the fact that we are even talking about this right now should tell you that there needs to be a freaking overhaul. If you didn't know there needed to be an overhaul now, there needs to be a fucking overhaul.
And I don't.
Do you want to know why us people, us young people, as you fucking call us, don't fucking vote because of bullshit like this.
Yeah, I don't.
Because of bullshit like this. No wonder why we don't fucking vote. Why the fuck are we gonna vote for people that don't know what the that don't know how the fuck to compromise on anything? On fucking anything.
I mean, I hate to even put it in perspective, but when James and I were working on the show that we're working on still,
Yep.
we had to make a shit ton of compromises. It was the only way to get stuff done.
Yeah. Our show, how many compromises have we made, Owen, over the years with this fucking show?
You made a lot of compromises. With,
Thank you.
Yeah, everything.
Do you know how embarrassing that in comparison? And I love the show, but I'm gonna actually insult it just to make my fucking point here. That a rinky-dink bullshit CAW league with no money behind it can fucking compromise on things than the fucking world leaders in our fucking globe right now. Do you know how fucking embarrassing that is?
It's pretty pathetic.
It's pathetic. It is fucking pathetic. Do you see me right now? I have had so much happen to me in fucking life. I've had so much happen to me in my life. I have never been more pissed off than I am right now. I am serious, dead ass, 100%. I've had abusive fucking relationships. I've had WWE give me shit fucking products, and I've been pissed off over those two fucking things in my fucking life. This takes the fucking cake. Because now my entire life has been fucking affected for no goddamn reason. For no reason. I'm serious when I say I have never in my life, after this, have been more embarrassed. I've never been more embarrassed to be an American citizen. Honestly. And you know what? No, scratch that. A citizen of this freaking globe. Honestly. Do I want this to pass? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course I want this to pass. It should pass. And it probably is going to pass. And at this point, I really hope the political system wakes the hell up. Because we really need them to right now. Because at this point, I'm leaving it up to God. Because I'm not going to vent about it anymore. But
Absolutely.
This pissed me off beyond belief.
The only thing I'll say is, it's good to do something, but they're like way overreacted. Like they,
Right.
You know, they didn't need to go as hardcore as they did. It's nice to, you know, at least do something, but not cancel, basically put life on hold for everybody.
Yes. Yes.
If your job, career, or anything has been affected by this current nonsense, let's be honest, people are working from home that they don't need to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sanitization should be an important thing anyway. I mean, for God's sakes, sanitization is really important.
Dude, sanitization, washing your hands, literally all they would have had to do, just from the stuff I've researched, wash your hands, put on a mask when you go out, put on gloves for now, and you don't have to distance from everybody, and just cough in your elbow when you sneeze. That's all you got to do. And even then, you're going to have the mask on anyway.
If you go into like school classes, just have hand sanitizer out for everybody.
Right. Right. 100%.
Dude, you don't even have to wear the mask.
Right. 100%. Honestly, it is indicative of
whole thing. Hold on, let me get my piece out on this.
Right.
This whole thing is just a media scandal in order to sell medical devices and products. That's all it is. That's all this whole fucking thing has become is, well, you're gonna have to wear this, do this, eat this certain type of food to fight this. Yeah, it's nonsense.
It was beneficial for, and the politicians did nothing for to mitigate this freaking disaster, and they've actually added on to it because they knew, regardless of what side you fall on, whether it's the Republican or Democrat, it was going to booster up the ratings, or at least this is their thought process. It was going to bolster up young people to go to the freaking voting polls and vote. That's what they thought. That's what they thought.
Some of the candidates are even using this as like a reason to like vote for them instead of like looking out for everybody else.
Because guess what? Because the whole idea of fighting Trump, I'm going to fight Trump. That's been the whole fucking battle. Fight Trump. The president. Fight the president. We have to fight the president. Fight the president. What's your political ideology? What is your plan? You have a 10-step plan? You have a 5-step plan? You have a fucking plan?
Right.
What is the plan? What's the idea? What am I supposed to be invested in?
Exactly.
I look at politicians like
I can't get invested. I never invested because I know everything that they say is full of horseshit.
James, I look at politicians like I look at car payments. Why should I spend this much money on this much nonsense?
You shouldn't. I mean, there's really nothing else to say, really. I've pointed out my
2021. I'm telling you right now that that's what every political. You know what? I'm putting money down. I'm putting money down on this one.
Right.
$20 that next year that every political member is going to say, or at least in the next couple months, are going to say, we're going to fight coronavirus. We're going to completely fight COVID-19. We're going to completely fight this infection, this problem. That's what we're going to do.
Right.
That's what they're going to do it all. They're going to say that they fought the thing. They say, well, we tried what we could, and then it's going to come back to, oh, the thing just died out like every other major virus that's ever happened. It's become a part of human nature, and then
it already has in China. It's already starting to in Italy. It's already starting to in Japan. I mentioned.
This thing, that we know how to fight this, and we know how to kill it.
Granted, and I do want to point this out because this is a very strong point that I want to make. They don't know how it's caused yet, so the numbers of active cases are most likely going to go up a little bit. Maybe even more than it might be slightly more than a little bit. But I guarantee you it's not as much as they're saying, to the point where the media is now saying that the entire world's going to be shut down for 8 months to a year and a half, 2 years. That even if they wanted to do that, that is completely and absolutely impossible. There's just no way they can do that.
And here's the power for the course. Here's the important bit that really is super important.
Right.
There is no physical way to shut down the world over one thing.
Yep.
It was one thing when, I know a lot of people are going to give the example somewhere in the comments section somewhere on YouTube is going to be like,
yeah, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11 all day long, 9/11.
They shut down the world. It's like, no, they shut down the ability to fly. You were still able to get shipments in, and that only lasted a couple weeks at most.
Right.
It was a tragedy. It was a terrible thing, and it came out of nowhere. This thing, however, has been brewing and stirring for months, and it's been hidden.
And nobody did a thing about it.
Exactly.
Nobody did a thing about it.
For months. There's no denying that fact.
Dude, this has been going on. This has been going on since December of 2019.
I know. I was doing research myself. I was even like, I was flabbergasted that it's been going on since December.
Because some idiot thought it was a good idea to eat a freaking bat too. But I digress on that. It started in 2019 in December, and this has been going on since then. It's been going on for close to 4 months now.
And then some other idiot decided to fly out and not tell anyone he had the virus.
So clearly, who's to blame?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people to blame, but at the end of the day, they knew about this. They knew about this disease 3 months ago. You can't tell me that they weren't paying attention. If Trump is friends with China, you cannot tell me that people didn't know about that this was going on. You could have sent at least U.S. doctors to see what the hell to do, to nip this in the bud right before it got started. And, of course, they didn't.
I'm going to cut you off really quick.
Go ahead.
nitrogen counts in China are increasing again. New data shows.
Right.
So they're back to making product over there already.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They're already back at work.
100%.
You had the whole fear of the sheltering process that could possibly happen.
Which I think it will, but it cannot last for that long. It literally would have to last a month at most.
Here's the whole thing with that. It can't happen for the amount of population size and people of the USA. We're talking. China's a huge location, but they're under a dictatorship anyway, so it's able to solve its own problem. However, under the American
under the Constitution, they physically cannot.
American ideology of democracy.
Which actually, thank you for reminding me that, because that's probably why they wanted to do this as well. This is probably why a lot of extremist politicians, which they are out there on both sides, don't lie to yourselves, that they exist, folks. They do. They exist on the Republican side. They exist on the Democratic side. At the end of the day, and I'm going to take a quote from Punk's podcast here to actually apply it to the situation. Either they're dumb as fuck, or they're stupid, or they did this on purpose. Maybe tinfoil in theory, but would it really fucking surprise anybody if they're trying to use this fucking disease to essentially eradicate the fucking Constitution? Would it really shock anybody? Would it?
I think you're now putting tinfoil.
I don't think it's likely. I want to put that out there. I think it's more the latter situation, that they're fucking dumb as fucking stupid. But would it surprise anybody? I mean, honestly, if the media is going to fucking assume shit, why the fuck shouldn't I, right?
No, I agree. But
just point it out there.
Here's the whole thing with this. And this is my counter argument to the discussion.
Right.
So I had something in my in the back of my throat. This type of situation is going to come as fast as it's going to go. It's been around.
It's worse before it gets better, but it will get better, and it's going to get better quick.
If it was discovered in December last year, and it's already, let's see, March. That's about 4 months. This thing's only been around for 4 months.
It was discovered then, but it wasn't worldwide until March. Right. I think that's accurate. So this would have been nipped in the bud if they reacted then. They didn't want to react. That's my point. I don't know why they should have. They did it with literally every other freaking disease in the world too. And now that I think about it, they reacted quick with Ebola. They reacted as quick as they possibly could with AIDS, even though it's still spread no matter what. They reacted greatly with H1N1, even though that still killed a lot more people than this did.
They reacted pretty quick with the swine flu. I remember in school that was.
Yeah. I remember that. I lived through that. 2009. I don't understand how they possibly could have just let this slip under the fucking radar, considering that Trump is supposedly great buddies with China, and you're telling me no one thought to go down there and nip this in the bud before it spread around the world. That sounds, again, they're either dumb as fuck or they did it on purpose. I lie towards they're dumb as fuck. Because that's just stupid. How are you just going to dismiss that like that's not a problem? And that's, again, a failure on our political leadership, or not just in this country, by the way, around the entire goddamn globe. This is indicative of the problem we've been having for years now because of media. For years. Constant bickering, not getting anything done, stubborn can fucking be when we're supposed to entrust in these people to protect us and keep us safe from this bullshit.
It's ridiculous.
And we simply can't anymore.
I feel like we could end off with that. I feel like we should get to the wrestling.
That's it. That's my rant. That's everything.
Mike, is there anything you want to say, and then we'll get to the wrestling?
If there's one thing I can leave off on, and it's an important little message, do research, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Honestly.
Research, sit back for a couple days looking at the numbers and then see, okay, is this situation as bad as it's been made out to be? Probably not. Is there a way to fix what's currently going on? Yes. Is this a end-all be-all situation? No. But this thing is a minor problem that has been blown out of proportion for months now. Since February, since the end of February.
Some people are even saying like it's going to be the end of the world, all this type of stuff. It's not the end of the world.
And let me point this out. That's a what-if possibility. What we know now is that it's not the end of the world. So until the numbers of active cases rises to 1 million, then you can start panicking. Right now,
unless this stupid virus resurrects the dead, then I'm not worried about it.
Right. Like if at the end of the day, if it rises to 1 million, if the active cases and the fatalities go like to 500,000, and the active cases rise to 1 million, then you can be scared. Then you can panic. Let's get off the fucking panic button for a little bit. Do research. Do research on this disease. Do research on the numbers of active cases. Keep up to date with that and that alone. Go on Bing. Bing has their own tracker that you could go about and looking at that information. That's how I was able to find all those numbers. So go straight to Bing. They have like the Vid-19 tracker on there. You can easily search that out. And most importantly, this is all you got to do. Wash your damn hands. If you're going to be in a grocery store, wear gloves and a mask and cough in your elbow, and you should be fucking fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. That's it. I wanted to point that out there.
All right, now let's get to the wrestling. I was going to start with Elimination Chamber, but since you guys are in a negative mood, let's get you guys in a positive mood and start with the AEW.
Well, you know what? No, let's get all the fucking negative bullshit out of the way, and Mike and I can just shit on it and have a blast. How about that?
I know, yeah. I mean, Elimination Chamber is actually a pretty good show. So.
Sadness. This is gonna suck.
Elimination Chamber, though, was actually a pretty good show, though. So
I disagree.
Well, let's
disagree. There were a lot of things I didn't like, but that's fine.
Let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
So we had the exclusive where it advertised the Women's Elimination Chamber match. We had the preview show, hosted by Caleb Waxon and Mike Walm. I still miss Kathy Kelly. Let me ask you: was there anything important that happened on the pre-show? The preview show, Natalia got interviewed. She talked about the match and about that FCW documentary that was coming out where they pretended that FCW was this great place to go, but that's bullshit. So.
Yeah, because WWE likes to rewrite history, even though they're the ones that came out with the documentary that FCW was the land of that careers died.
Yeah. And then the Street Profits got interviewed, talk about the tag title match, and I think they just talked about their personal lives that I've heard 3 million times on the bump and other places, so I didn't need to hear it. I didn't need to hear it a second time. So.
Right.
The preview show was fine, though. It was fairly entertaining to watch, mainly because the Street Profits were on it. So, and then we had the kickoff show. Peter Rosenberg was back doing the panel. I don't know where he was, but he was.
How many fucking shows do they need to do to hype up a pay-per-view? If you need 3 goddamn shows to hype up a pay-per-view, it's gonna suck.
Listen, I understand. I can only give the example from. Putting out trailers, things like that, making sure people get all hyped up.
Right.
The problem with WWE's marketing nowadays, and this is the major problem, is that all their marketing...
Show after show after show after show after show after show after show. That's their marketing. There is no marketing.
Do you remember what? I'm going to give the example. Do you remember WrestleMania 21 and how they did all the vignettes with all the actors with them in famous movie roles?
Yeah.
That was cool. That was interesting.
That was
Different.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
But they don't do that anymore for the simple fact of 21 didn't do super well. Well, it's because the card was not incredible.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. It would have been incredible if they had the I Quit match for Cena and JBL on that show and the Hell in a Cell match for Batista and Triple H on that show. But long-term booking kind of fucking got thrown out the window at that point.
Yep. Anyhow, though, we had the panel of Peter Rosenberg, Jonathan Coachman, Charlie Caruso, and David Otunga on there. David Otunga showing off his shoes. I don't know why he always feels the need to show off his shoes, but he does.
Yeah,
no one cares.
Poor motherfucker watching at home, trying to spend the money on pay-per-view. Oh, wait, we don't do that anymore.
The commentary team was...
I don't even spend the $9.99, but that's none of my business.
The commentary team was Byron Saxton, Tom Phillips, and Jerry the Kim Lawler. Let's see.
Oh, that's an A+ team.
Absolutely, A+. Right, so I'll just speed run through these interviews. Ruby Riott got interviewed, and she talked about how she's willing to do whatever it takes to win the Elimination Chamber and face Becky Lynch for the Raw. I didn't really pay much attention to that, considering the fact that I knew she wasn't winning, so I didn't really get invested. So,
you know what? How about this? Skip every single Elimination Chamber women's interview, and let's not even review that, because we all knew it was going to be Shayna Baszler that won anyway.
We're
just wasting people's time at that point, including mine.
The Miz and John Morrison got interviewed. That actually was good. They talked about the cast.
Okay, so that was a good chamber match, although they had a really bad booking decision. But
I really like the interview that Miz and Morrison had. They talked about how they're going to win, and they don't think it's fair that they have to defend the first title defense is in an Elimination Chamber match, which...
They're right. They are right.
I agree with them. Aleister Black was backstage. He talked about how he's going to send AJ Styles to the depths of hell or something like that. I wonder what the depths of hell is like, because I know people always get sent there and come right back anyway. So
I don't know. Why don't you ask Mark Young?
Braun Strowman got interviewed. He said he's going to destroy everybody, including Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Sami Zayn won. There. I spoiled it for everybody that didn't want their time wasted. Next.
R-Truth got interviewed. Actually, that's just fun.
Who cares? 24/7 garbage. Next.
No, it wasn't actually. He was just...
Was it? Was it actually good?
Yeah, he was just being confusion. He thought Peter Rosenberg was Sam Roberts.
All right, yeah, that's hilarious.
So you guys are going to love this one. So
you know what? Honestly, if you were a casual, you could make that mistake.
No, this is hilarious, too. And I'm going to make the joke. He actually thought this pay-per-view was WrestleMania because he thought, WrestleMania was already happening. I can't blame R-Truth for the way they built this show because it seems like WWE...
R-Truth caused WrestleMania to be in the PC this year. He predicted the future.
He says he's looking forward to seeing his childhood hero John Cena wrestle. It was awesome. Just go watch.
I mean, he wasn't half wrong, just wrong.
Hey, do you remember when Ron the Truth Killings was fucking NWA champion?
Yeah, and he actually was taken seriously. I do.
I don't remember that. I remember R-Truth being a schlock of a wrestler.
Yeah. And even though he's not, it's sad. It's sad. They really did him a disservice.
The Viking Raiders defeated Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. It was a waste of a time of a kickoff match. It was 2 stars.
Great. Next.
Ryder accidentally hit the Rough Rider on Kurt Hawkins, which caused the Viking Raiders hit the Viking Experience for the win onto Zack Ryder. So.
Oh, so great. They're going to split Hawkins and Ryder up again. And I'm sure that will be a great segment on Main Event.
Mike, what'd you think of that kickoff match between the Viking Raiders, Kurt Hawkins, and Zack Ryder?
It was a kickoff match, dude. I fell asleep.
It There you go.
Dude, I didn't even watch it, and I fell asleep. I almost fell asleep when you described it.
Andrade and Zelina Vega got interviewed, and they say they're going to defeat Humberto Carrillo at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, sure they will. Next.
Everybody says that, and then everybody can't do it because Alberto has this master booking.
The Usos were backstage and said they're going to put the entire SmackDown Tag Team division on lock. It was not a good promo. I don't like the Usos on the microphone. Everybody does, but I'm not one of them. So
I don't mind the Usos on the microphone. At least it's better than the New Day chucking pancakes when they're supposed to be serious.
All right, so then we had the show. So that was a waste of a time of a kickoff show. We had the commentary team. Again, we had, Tom Phillips, Jerry the King Lawler, and Byron Saxton commentated all the Raw matches, and Corey Graves and Michael Cole commentated all the SmackDown matches.
Right.
This was a great opening match. Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak. That match.
I watched this match. Holy, oh my God. This is here's the best way I could describe this match. It was the most non-WWE match that WWE's ever put on. It was fucking outstanding. Drew Gulak shined at, whatever the hell SmackDown did to bury him, Daniel Bryan just reinvented his entire career with this one match.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this was epic. This was such... keep in mind, there was nothing going into this. All they had was that shitty story they were telling on SmackDown, and they blew the story. It was almost like when you watched this match, by the end of it, you forgot the story at that point. Because they just kicked the ever-loving shit out of each other. I have never seen a chest turn so red other than a chop competition, where you have to take 100 chops.
Okay. I felt bad for Daniel Bryan's neck in this match. There's one point where Gulak
that was scary. There was some scary spots for both men, but especially Bryan, because he landed hard on his neck. And there's not enough good things to say about this match. But of course, nobody's going to talk about it because everybody's sour on WWE anyway, and all they cared about was that there was a headline saying that Daniel Bryan's fucking ball popped out of his trunk. So.
I didn't. Just go watch this match. It's great. Daniel Bryan
out of the trunk.
Daniel Bryan won with the LeBell Lock or the Yes Lock. I don't know what he's calling it right now, but
it's honestly, if this was any other time period, these two, if you were to do, honestly, these two teams, because now they're going to be a tag team.
Yeah,
it's not going to go anywhere. It's sad, but it won't. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed that they're teaming. But if you put them in 2002 like this, it would have been right up there with the rest of the SmackDown 6. That's how good this fucking match was. And it's just a damn shame it's going to just go to fucking waste.
But Daniel Bryan won with the Yes Lock, LeBell Lock. I like that Gulak didn't tap out. He passed out to the pin.
That was great. That was a great touch. And I love how Daniel Bryan... In an interview too, he basically said, I like blood and guts. I guess that's what of course they're calling their team name Blood and Guts. I wonder why. But Daniel Bryan actually got it very over. And I really like the team up. I like how they went about the team up. It's very Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch-esque. So that was...
I want to see a one-off match. Just Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Give them 20 minutes.
God, don't even. You know what? If NXT even starts up again, because apparently they're stopping all operations until this blows over, I would not be opposed to seeing that as the first match back.
Yeah.
Kidding me? That would be a great way to come back.
I gave this match 4 stars. It was great. Go watch it.
I gave it 4 1/4. I really, really enjoyed this match. This is the one match. This was the best match of the night. Nothing even came close to this.
Oh no, not at all.
This is depressing.
Mike, what do you think of this match, and what's your star rating for?
I'd give it a good 4. I thought it was very good, technical, which is important.
Very strike heavy as well.
Yes.
Because it's Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I'm going to say I'm going to save the Dolph Ziggler Robert Roode interview until we actually get to the Chamber match. We'll go into the United States title match. Andrade defended against Humberto Carrillo. Andrade had Zelina Vega inside. Match is pretty good. I just hated the fact they did the same finish they did at the Rumble on this match. It really pissed me off. I'm sick of the roll-up finishes. I get what building. Well, actually, I don't know if it was supposed to be
beat the roll-up. Too strong.
No one cares.
Oh, he kicks out of a pin.
Andrade won. I think he held the tights.
Next.
Yeah, the match is pretty good, but yeah, I'm just sick of this. They're supposed to be building up to a four-way match with Rey Mysterio and Angel Garza involved, but it might not happen now because of the circumstances. But we'll see. I thought the match is pretty good. I give it like 3.25.
Did Ray have to go back to Mexico? Because of this whole
No, I don't. He might have. I don't think Mexico, but he may have had to go back to San Diego, and he might be sheltered in place right now.
Oh no, poor Ray. Poor Ray. That sucks.
Yeah.
No, the fact he lives in San Diego. Why would you ever want to live in San Diego?
What did you think of this match, Jade, between Andrade and
worse? Hold on, Owen. You know what's worse, Mike, than living in San Diego? Being sheltered in place in San Diego. That's pretty bad.
You know what's worse than being in San Diego, being sheltered in place? Being Rey Mysterio. Being sheltered in place in San Diego.
Yeah, because now he can't fly around the ring. He's sad.
No, he's gonna be too busy playing with. He's gonna be too busy playing with this sword and designing 15 more masks so he can sell them to the kiddies.
But Jade, what did you think of the match?
Hey, at least he's a good human being, and will donate those proceeds to the thing to try and discover what the thing does.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you what it does. It sucks.
Jade, what did you think of the match between Andrade and Alberto Carrillo?
I didn't care. I skipped it. Next.
What about you, Mike?
What match?
Andrade and Humberto.
No, exactly. What match?
All right, moving on then. All right, then we had the first of two Elimination Chamber matches, but before that, we had an interview segment with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They talked about.
We know they don't win. Actually, this is all I'll say about it. They said they were going to win. They didn't win, and somehow they didn't win the titles. What?
All right, so we had the Elimination Chamber match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It was The Miz and John Morrison defending against Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Lindsay Dorado, a grand match of League, having the Usos and Kofi Kingston and Big E. I'll just run through it and then we'll all give our thoughts on it. Kofi Kingston and Big E and the Usos started off the match. Makes sense because of that great tag team feud they had in 2017 with that 5-star Hell in a Cell match. There you go. Then I believe next who came in was Heavy Machinery. I believe they were next. Or it was Lindsay Dorado grand match.
Over. I watched this match. I skipped some parts, but they were the most over because Otis was fucking over in this match. They desperately wanted Heavy Machinery to win these tag belts. Like, desperately. That crowd was into that act.
I believe it was Miz and Morrison came in fourth, and then Heavy Machinery came in. Lindsay Dorado and Grand Master League looked awesome in this match. Lindsay Dorado did this great, shooting star press off the top of the chamber.
That was nuts. That was the best. That was the best off the actual. Because Morrison did it before, but it looked wicked sloppy, and he only did it to one guy. I think it was Sheamus. But in this case, that everybody was in the right position and you couldn't see that they were being there to catch him. So it looked like they were just kind of fighting before they cut to the camera of him scaling the cage, and then he did the shooting star press. He did a freaking gymnastic star press on the top of the chamber. That was sick.
One goofy thing they kind of did though is I think they knew the spot was coming, so John Morrison had to break up Otis's pin on another guy that wasn't even on his team, so they could set up the spot. It was kind of
that was stupid.
But then Heavy Machinery eliminated. I believe they hit the trap.
There are some cases where that's acceptable. If you have a blood feud, for example, or even as simple as, I just got punched in the face by this guy, and you don't realize that he's pinning somebody, and like you're just enraged that you just got nailed in the fucking face. You have that excuse.
Yeah.
But this was not that.
Well, like it could be the case.
Excuse?
It could be the case like where you're working together with that person, and you don't want them to get out because they heard you. Heard your change. But anyhow, Heavy Machinery hit the trash compactor on Grand Metalik, eliminated Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik.
Dude, that had to suck.
That's such a terrible fucking finisher name. Oh my god.
Oh, it is. But you know what? If you don't, here's the thing though. It's basically the reason they call it the trash compactor is
because you're trash and they're compacting you.
Yes, it's two fat guys compacting you. That's why. That's why it's so dumb, but it makes sense if you watch the gimmick. It works. It doesn't work with anybody else, but here it works.
But then we had the moment everybody waited for, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Everyone wanted to see Otis get his hands on Dolph Ziggler, especially me because I hate Dolph Ziggler.
Can't hate him. He's your Titantron.
Tucker.
You know what? We say we hate Dolph. But here's the thing. Since teaming with Roode, is it safe to say that he's actually improved?
Yeah.
Is that weird to say? Because he has. Like, it's noticeable how much he's actually gained from teaming.
Yeah, because he's standing next to a goddamn world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, true.
An actual world heavyweight champion, not some fucking wife of a world heavyweight champion or son of a world heavyweight champion.
Right. Continue.
He's just a tag team wrestler, James. That's all it is. I mean, he was better with Drew. He was better with Roode. So
I don't agree. I don't think he was better with Drew at all. I think he was holding Drew back.
Anyhow,
he is with Roode here, but this time at least they're a part of a storyline that is like the only good thing on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Then Tucker hit like a somersault off of the pod on everybody too. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, Tucker shined especially. Like everybody wants to talk about Otis because Otis is like the main focal point of that story between Ziggler, Mandy, and him, and that whole love triangle, and how he's like the awkward fat guy trying to get the hot girl. But Tucker was fucking outstanding in this match.
Yeah. Eventually, though,
run out of ideas
he tried to charge Ziggler.
Hold on, Mike. For fuck's sake, too many people talking. What?
Can we just say WWE's running out of ideas for storylines at this point?
I mean, yeah.
How many in the past 3 years have been the love triangle?
Actually, I think this is a new concept. This incarnation of the whole love triangle story. I'll tell you why. It's you know Otis. You know how I rave about he's basically just the autistic macho man who happens to be fat, and he's the macho the hot girl. He's trying to get the hot girl, and and it's so over, and they want him to get the girl. And Mandy wants to get with them, but Sonya is convincing Mandy that, oh, no, this is the kind of guy you go out with, and pointing to Ziggler, and that actually is so innovative. It's real. It's actually real, because I know people that have had this happen to them. That's why it's actually over, because it's the only real thing on SmackDown at the moment. Everything else is like childish bullshit that no one cares about.
Anyhow, continuing with this match. So yeah, Otis tries to charge, but he ends up going through the pod, and he lands on the outside. This causes Ziggler and Roode to hit their super kick, glorious DDT combination on the Tucker, and they eliminate him.
That is a good finish.
Yeah.
That's a very good finish.
The crowd was pissed, though, when Heavy Machinery got eliminated.
You know what? You want to know what pissed me? All right, so here, I talked about the bad booking decision here. So I talked about how the Otis and Ziggler love triangle stuff that also was building the Heavy Machinery and, Rudolph feud. It's like the best thing on SmackDown. So one would think, any logical person that would see this organically get over would be like, this should be the tag match for WrestleMania. Nope!
Yeah.
So after Heavy Machinery got eliminated, the Usos come out of nowhere, hit double splashes, and eliminate Rude and Ziggler. Crowd died. They were dead for the rest of this match. No one could care because the two teams that actually had heat going in, which were Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler.
Robert Roode, James. Robert Roode.
I don't give a fuck. It's the same damn name. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler and Heavy Machinery. They were the two teams that had the most heat going in. Were eliminated. And they weren't even the final two freaking teams.
Yep.
Bruce Pritchard, you deserve to be fired.
Absolutely.
That was so dumb.
I understand
so stupid.
I understand you just gave the belts to Miz and Morrison, but at this point, like, that storyline's so organically.
Gives a shit about Miz and Morrison. Literally, and the worst part is, this is what they do. Instead of making the tag team titles important with a storyline that's important, they'll let the storyline play out without the belts, and then they'll give the tag team titles to something else. Because for some weird reason, Vince thinks that, oh, the storyline can't outshine the title, so the title should be the only story, and not this on top of that. So they're going to do Miz and Morrison versus Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. That's what they're building towards.
Yeah,
while you got Heavy Machinery and Rude and Ziggler, with Otis probably getting Mandy Rose and kayfabe without the goddamn titles. Why?
Yeah, I know.
Why? Yeah. That's so dumb. That was like the hottest program. You just literally killed it, and now no one could care because the titles aren't involved. They're still going to put... I'm sorry. If there was a crowd, and they still would have popped if Otis got the girl at the end of the day and beat Ziggler and Rude with Tucker, and Mandy just slapped Sonya Deville or whatever, said, fuck you. But otherwise... This shit's stupid. Like, why would you take the titles off them? That was the hottest program.
Yeah.
On the entire brand.
Anyhow, continuing though, so they had a fine triple threat match, but like no one cared because the two most over teams got eliminated. So they did a fine elimination. It was very innovative. Where Kofi Miz hitting the splash, and Miz and Morrison ran in and eliminated Kofi Kingston and Big E. So Kofi went from being like the last two guys in the WWE title elimination chamber match to just being eliminated a random guy in the match. Like,
here's another thing I didn't like. After seeing the tag team battle royal on Dynamite, and Mike can attest to this, the fact that that WWE is still doing when one team member is eliminated, the whole team's eliminated is bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Like,
that's ridiculous. I guarantee you, if Otis was the only one eliminated and Tucker won the tag team titles by himself, that would have gotten Tucker over here. That would have been way more interesting.
Absolutely.
But of course,
then
when Dynamite does something, I guess WWE can't do it because that would be admitting that they're wrong.
Then the Miz and Morrison roll up one of the Usos, hold their feet on the ropes, and win. Dude, the match is very good. I give it like 3 3/4. I didn't really like the finish too much.
I give it a 3. The fact that they eliminated the two most over teams really soured me on it. As most things do with WWE, because they don't know what gets over anymore in this day and age.
They don't know their elbow from their asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, what did you think of this tag team championship?
I have to give it 2.5. The action was good, but I was just so fucking bored watching it.
That's fine.
Would you agree with my assessment that Heavy Machinery and Rude and Ziggler were the two teams that anybody cared about going in?
Yeah, honestly. They're the only two teams that everybody cares about going in.
Because of the story. Because of the story between Ziggler and Otis and Mandy. That's the thing carrying SmackDown.
Oh, Owen, I have to ask you a question.
What's up?
Do you at least agree with the fact that if you have Ziggler in the ring, even in singles competitive action, you know you're going to see something that you haven't seen week after week after week at least once.
And more specifically, how he sells.
Yes.
If it was before, I would agree with that, but I feel he's just gotten so lazy lately. I can't say that anymore. Like, he's so lazy.
I don't think he's gotten lazy now.
Dumb shit over and over and over again, and I can understand from his perspective of, man, fuck this.
You know what? Yeah, I never actually thought of it that way. You know what, Owen? Even though he signed a new contract, I get that point of view, actually. Because, like, if I was Dolph Ziggler, I'd stop trying to.
Oh, who wouldn't? Yeah.
You know? Like, why the fuck am I going to try if...
Never had the shot at the World Heavyweight title, to my knowledge.
No, he did. They just took it off him because he got one concussion, and Vince was like, "You're injury prone. Get the belt off him."
Exactly. It's still the fact that...
Even though Stone Cold had a broken neck and he had the fucking world title.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Vince McMahon, ladies and gentlemen.
Moving on to the next match. It was the no disqualification match. AJ Styles with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Aleister Black.
Can we please skip this?
I really like this match. Maybe because Undertaker was there mostly.
You know what the problem is? Here's the problem. This is why I didn't like it.
No.
I've seen this 100 times. I've seen AJ versus Aleister Black 100 times before this. God, I didn't care.
But
did not care.
But Owen just brought up a good point. The only reason why Owen's going to remember that match is because The Undertaker was in it.
He showed up. You're right.
That's it. That's the only reason why anybody would care about it is because The Undertaker shows up, and that's it.
And they're building a program between AJ Styles and Undertaker, which, by the way, is stupid that you're doing a one-on-one. This is what I proposed. Since Edge is cleared from his neck injury, there's no reason Sting can't be. Yeah. So why not have a six-man tag with the OC, AJ's crew, taking on The Undertaker, Sting, and Aleister Black?
I'm not against that.
You know why I say that? It would have given you the moment of Sting and Undertaker being in the same match, but instead of opponents, they're partners, and you get that epic, stare down between the two, with Aleister Black coming in between them, and then they all do their signature poses in the middle of the ring. Sting points to bat, Undertaker kneels down, and Aleister Black sits down cross-legged. That is a WrestleMania moment.
I can't believe that's his signature pose, though.
Especially too, considering the fact that Aleister Black would get the rub off of teaming with Sting and the Undertaker.
That is why. Like, if I'm thinking in my head, like, I wouldn't have them at all in the match. But if you're going to do it, at least if they win, you have Aleister Black win. And just imagine the visual of the black mass and the tombstone pile driver,
yeah.
Or actually, I even think one better. You could do a freaking you could have Sting get his first pinfall win, and have the black mass and the Scorpion Death Drop. That would be cool. That would be even more.
Did he ever won a match in WWE yet?
No, he did win. He teamed with Cena to face Big Show and Seth Rollins, and he defeated.
I don't think he got the pin though. I do not think he got the actual pin in that match.
He got the submission on Seth.
Victor, if you're not getting the pin, it's a different story. If it was, they were an actual tag team, but they're not.
The only pin that I think Sting has may have been an elimination on Seth Rollins in an elimination tag match. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That sucks.
But anyhow, this match, before AJ Styles did an interview saying, basically being arrogant, talking about how he's with the OC, but he's like, oh, wait a minute. If they get involved, I could get disqualified, knowing that it's a no DQ match, it doesn't matter. The only thing I didn't like about the match is Gallows and Anderson just kind of stood around, even though it's a no disqualification match, so why did they not interfere the whole time? They only interfered, so that didn't make any sense. But the match still was actually very good up until that point. Aleister Black hit a meteor through a table off the announce table. Then Undertaker finally showed up after the OC finally interfered and all beat down Aleister Black. And then Undertaker shows up. He catches AJ Styles hitting a choke slam from the Phenomenal Forearm. Then Aleister Black recovers, hit the Black Mass on AJ Styles, and wins. So Undertaker screwed over AJ Styles twice now. I don't count the first time because that doesn't mean nothing. So anyhow,
doesn't, because does anything in WWE matter?
And
the match The match I gave like 3 3/4 stars, mainly because Undertaker was there, so that bumped it up like 2-star ratings.
I'm not even gonna. I skipped this whole match. I'm not even gonna bother with the star rating.
What's up, Mike? What were you saying?
Then you actually have to drop it to the 2 stars that you already gave it. You have to drop your own rating because the fact that Undertaker, that's an automatic drop, Owen, more than it is an increase.
Well,
for the simplistic fact that if it wasn't for the Undertaker, that match would just be forgettable.
I originally gave it 3 1/4 stars, and then I put it up to 3 3/4.
Nah, I'm good. I'm not even gonna rate it. None of my business.
No, I didn't care for it personally because great, Undertaker shows up I had to have a WrestleMania match with AJ Styles. Woohoo! Fucking yeah, can't wait to not care about that match in the next couple months. Oh no, guess what? Undertaker lost against Styles. The streak doesn't exist anymore, so why the fuck is it still? Why is he still wrestling at WrestleMania every year?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have a reason. Anyhow, then we had the next match. It was a Raw Tag Team Championship match. It was the Street Profits defending against Seth Rollins and Murphy with AOP ringside. The match was pretty good. I think the problem is I've seen so many, I just saw 2 5-star matches, one in NXT, one in AEW. NXT being the Broserweights versus Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, NXT TakeOver Portland. And then the other one, obviously, being with Kenny Omega and Heyman and Page versus the Young Bucks. This match just couldn't even hold up.
That's just nowhere on the lines of those 2 matches. So, yeah, bye. No.
3 1/4 still, because it was still pretty good, but, it just doesn't hold up. So, the Viking Raiders came out.
Problem is, if you had this match take on a Dynamite or a Takeover, this would be 5 stars all day. Because they'd be allowed to do shit. So yeah, I mean, Street Profits win, but they buried him so bad. I didn't even rate it.
Kevin Owens interfered. He came out through the crowd holding. He had a thin of popcorn. It was the thing I find hilarious about it though is there was this woman in the crowd who was not happy with Kevin Owens. So if you go watch the match back, she was pissed that Kevin Owens cost. That was hilarious. But yeah. The Street Profits win it. They have a name for it. It's like it's the sky high into the frog splash, but I forget the name of it. It's probably some stupid main roster tag team finish name that I'm not gonna care about.
I can't believe he hit him with the Flippenheimer. Oh shit! He killed him with the Flippenheimer. That's the new finisher, the Flippenheimer.
Pineapple Flippenheimer.
And then afterwards, Kevin Owens came.
The tickle touch. Oh no, he's tickling him.
But afterwards, Seth Rollins is pissed at Murphy that he lost the match for the team, saying that you failed me. But then afterwards, Kevin Owens comes into the ring, hits the Kevin Owens stunner on the Seth Rollins, and then afterwards he pours the He goes outside the ring and pours the popcorn on the Murphy. So that was cool.
Wow, yeah, that's how I felt about that match.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The whole Kevin Owens thing is the equivalent of being the guy that goes, I'm not gay. I don't suck dick. My mouth does.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about this whole program. I'm glad Street Profits won the belts, but who cares at this point anymore?
Did I ever tell you the way they did it, too? They just randomly on Raw had a now or never match where if they lost, they couldn't challenge for the belts. No build up to that match at all. And then they had the rematch on the pay-per-view. They did it so backwards.
Wait. So they had all right, if they lost, they couldn't challenge for the belts against Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins?
Throw up the Buddy Murphy. He's not Buddy Murphy anymore. Throw that
I
away.
don't fucking care, Owen.
Okay, so Murphy,
You're
buddy.
gonna correct me again, and I'm going to fucking leave this call. I will call them whatever the fuck I want to call them.
So Murphy, buddy.
As I was saying, so Buddy Murphy.
Murphy, buddy.
You're telling me that the Street Profits had a random, they can't challenge for the belts ever again for no reason?
On Raw right before this pay-per-view, they had a random we can't challenge for that.
With no build or anything. All right, next. Yeah, that already makes me not care.
Mike, what do you think? What do you think about you and that? So
Next.
Yeah.
then we had a 3-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. It was Braun Strowman defending against.
Oh, I already spoiled it. Sami Zayn won big whoop, and it was a 3-on-1 match with two guys that, honest to God, should have been world champions. And Sami Zayn should have had the IC title at least 9 times by now. Fuck it, next.
I did like the story that Braun Strowman never got his hands on Sami Zayn, but
Except he did at fucking in 2017. So I automatically, because you insulted my intelligence, I don't care. Fuck it, next. And by the way, if I say next, Mike, what do you say?
Next.
Thank you.
all right, then
I usually say Big Whoop want to fight about it, but that's because I can.
I don't want to fight about it because this product sucks. There's nothing to fight about.
Yeah,
But,
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I've never seen the hype with Strowman. Just because of his look, I don't get why everybody's hyped about him. I don't get it.
Wait, no. His name isn't Strowman. It's... Get it? Because you punk strap.
yeah.
Runs around the ring.
Screaming.
Yeah.
But
I don't get the hype behind him. I never have and I never will. Well, what the fuck is... He was a Wyatt family member, and then that didn't work out because they realized, no, who took the special kid from baseball? Who took the kid that has to walk 10 feet forward in order for him to fucking hit it?
yeah, pretty much. All right, moving on to the main event. I'll just say
That's why he runs around the ring, because he still thinks it's baseball.
I hit the home run.
I hit home run!
We're moving on to the main event. I'll just say Shayna Baszler murdered everybody in that elimination chamber.
I don't care. Yeah, Shannon Baszler. But this was just and it buried an entire roster that wasn't even good to begin with, including Asuka, by the way. God, the fall of grace from Asuka.
In all fairness, though,
Asuka, I say this because I care about you, girl. When Io Shirai and Kairi Sane's contract comes to an end and they go back to Stardom, join them. Join them. Walk out of that company.
I will say this, though. I actually enjoyed the match quite a bit because I did like Shayna Baszler just destroying everybody, and it was what they needed to do to build the match to Becky Lynch. And Asuka did have an out because in real life she does have a wrist injury, so it did give her an out to lose as quickly as she did.
The way they did it was ridiculous.
Wait. How can you wrestle if you have a fucking wrist injury? 90% of wrestling is wrist walk.
WWE, dude.
They found a way.
Medical facilities they have in WWE Universe Land are fucking superb, I guess.
Yeah,
dude. You never went to Wrestling Town? You know that Scooby Doo fucking world where WWE runs an entire town,
where they lose all their jobs and I guess indie wrestling doesn't exist.
And there are bears, ghost bears, and Scooby Doo appears because of course the talking dog appears because it's Vince McMahon.
We gotta do the letter.
Better than this.
What? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. The talking dog absolutely is something that would be in his league. I was making that as a joke, but yeah, he would totally do the talking dog angle, and I think he actually has.
Probably.
We got to do the light grade for the.
He did Mantar.
We got to do the light grade for the.
Mantar.
We got to do the letter grade for the pay-per-view. We'll start with Mike. What do you grade Elimination Chamber?
I take Elimination Chamber as an E. E for effort.
Okay.
It was effort. It wasn't a lot, but it was something.
I'll go B minus. I thought it was.
I'm not grading an E. Fucking D.
D?
Actually, you know what? I'll give it a C minus.
Just
because of that Daniel Bryan Drew Gulak match alone was enough for me.
You guys are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna give it a B minus. Maybe because my expectations are set so low, but I actually enjoyed the show quite a bit. So there you go.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Just don't have low expectations, and you'll be able to enjoy it as much as I did, which I had 0 expectations, and I walked in going, "Yep, can't wait to not care about this in the next couple months."
All right, so we're gonna speed through Raw that happened the next night.
Thank God. You know what? Only talk about that. Just talk about the Edge Orton segment. That's all anybody ever cares about.
Why don't we start with that?
Edge Orton segment.
Why don't we start with that?
Yeah, Edge and Orton had the best segment on Raw.
Oh,
yes, correctly.
Oh shit! My bad. I thought you said the Edgelord segment. I'm like, we're talking about Edgelord
Well, I mean,
now.
it is an Edgelord segment, but at least it's a good Edgelord segment.
Yeah. Why don't we start with that, and then I'll just speed run through everything else. So MVP was out there, like, he went to commercial and he was already out there talking because he wanted to be Edge's like manager or agent or something like that. And Edge just came to the ring, doesn't even notice MVP. I really like this because he's just so pissed at Randy Orton. He just calls for Randy Orton to come out there. And MVP is talking about him. He's saying, you're just not focused. This is why you need me. And then he asked how Beth Phoenix is doing, and that just pisses Edge off.
And that just triggered Edge to turn his attention to freaking MVP spear him out of his boots.
Yeah, that was
comes in, tries to hit him with the RKO, and then Edge gets the upper hand with his own RKO, truly from out of nowhere.
Calls it the AJC, because that's his initials, Adam, whatever his middle name is.
Don't. Fuck WWE. No, don't ruin a good segment, please. I'm not
Actually,
even.
that wasn't WWE. That wasn't WWE. That wasn't WWE. That was me that did that. So.
Fuck you. Don't ruin it. No, so they did that great. Orton slithers away like the snake he is, and then Edge.
He's the Viper. Snake, he's the Viper.
Right. That's the gimmick.
Whoa, that was a joke.
But Edge looks at MVP and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make an example out of you, so Orton knows what I'm about to do. And so he gets 2 chairs, and he hits one concerto with the visceral as he looks down at Randy Orton. Crowd chants for one more time, and he does it one more time. That was it.
I'm sorry.
I
Did you say that one again? The visceral?
The what?
Did you say the visceral? Is that
vitriol?
That's. Oh no.
That's what I said. That's not what they said.
You disappoint me then.
But,
I love the segment.
That's the segment. The segment's great, though. That's the only good thing out of Raw. The Drew and Lesnar segment was also very good because Brock Lesnar sold the fucking Claymore kick like a goddamn boss.
That was a different show, James. That was last week.
Well then, fuck it. I don't keep up to Raw to be asked.
But I loved it, though. I love that segment. It really, afterwards on the show, Edge was interviewed by Charlie Caruso, and he was looking for Randy Orton, and Charlie Caruso said he left. So Edge was pissed because he can't get his hands on Randy Orton now because he left. And he doesn't. All right, but speed running.
Now he'll get his hands on him in an empty performance center.
Now let's.
I'm gonna chuck you in appropriately at WrestleMania.
I'll just speed run through everything else. Becky Lynch did a promo on Shayna Baszler talking about. Yeah, next. This was good. Rey Mysterio versus Angel Garza. Rey Mysterio won. I really didn't have
I've already seen this match 5 other times, actually, next. It's a good match.
I didn't have an issue with Rey.
I've seen it 5 other times.
Angel Garza maybe set up a 4-way.
You turn into a glitch.
Rey won. I didn't have an issue with it because he's getting his revenge on Angel Garza, and it's setting up that 4-way U.S. title match.
If it's even happening at this point.
Yeah. Kevin Owens backstage. It shows him earlier in the day, and he gets laid out by Seth Rollins' crew. So there you go. I actually didn't have an issue with that. Charlotte Flair promo, she talks about this promo really doesn't need much now, considering the fact that because the whole premise of the feud was the fact that Rhea Ripley was a rookie and wasn't going to be used to wrestling in front of 80,000 people, but now they won't be. So, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Then Rhea comes out and decks Charlotte Flair. That was cool. Bobby Lashley squashed Zack Ryder. Who cares?
Who cares?
Aleister Black was backstage.
What happened?
Zack Ryder was in the ring? I didn't even notice. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, it was Zack Ryder got squashed. Aleister Black was backstage. Somebody knocked on his door, and it was Seth Rollins, and he offered to recruit Aleister Black, but Aleister Black refused, so it led to the main event later on in the show. Yeah, the Edge of Norton segment wasn't the main. The Edge of Norton segment wasn't the main event for some reason.
Does that make sense?
Drew McIntyre squashed Eric Rowan, and he murdered his spider.
Why? What?
Drew McIntyre squashed Eric Rowan, and he took the cage and hit it with steps, so he murdered his spider. Did you not know that the reveal of Eric Rowan, what was in his cage?
I know about his spider. You're telling me they did an angle where McIntyre he killed a tarantula.
It's not a real tarantula.
It doesn't matter. In the kayfabe sense. Oh my God, he's the babyface and he committed animal cruelty. I fucking hate this company.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this company.
I think I liked it because I hated that storyline so much that I just didn't. I wanted this to be over, and now it's over.
It never should have been a thing to begin with. But the fact that oh my God, they had McIntyre. You could have had anybody else that wasn't doing anything kill it off, but you had to pick the one guy who happens to be a babyface right now, commit a heelish act, and commit animal cruelty.
Yeah, but fuck spiders.
It was a tarantula. They don't even bite.
Yes, they do.
They do, but they don't kill you.
Yes, they do. What are you, stupid?
How is Eric Rowan still alive then?
I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought they just were like.
James, you're thinking of like a daddy's long legs. It's the fact that a daddy long legs.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
No, you said a tarantula. That's completely different.
It was a spider. Yeah, it was a tarantula. It still comes down to animal cruelty, though.
Not if it's spiders. They don't count as pets. I don't care who you are.
Continuing with the show, the Kabuki Warriors.
Wait, hold on. In the context of WWE land, it does count as animal cruelty.
Where jobbing is okay, and especially if it's against the Undertaker.
Right. But I'm just pointing it out there that it's still dumb, even in the kayfabe context.
The Kabuki Warriors defeated Natalya and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan distracted by Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan, even though they were brawling with each other. Why
are Liv Morgan and Natalya teaming? Wait a minute. Why are Liv Morgan and Natalya teaming?
Random tag team they just decided to throw together one night. The Kabuki Warriors cut an awesome promo. The Kabuki Warriors cut an awesome promo before the match, so there's something.
Great. I don't care.
The OC did a promo, and this is where AJ Styles went off on The Undertaker, talking how he's old and washed up. He thought he should have retired after WrestleMania 33, but he lied to everybody, and then
My God, AJ talking like me. That's what I said.
Then AJ Styles talked about how his wife's wiping Undertaker dry. That's why he keeps wrestling. This is the first time someone mentioned that Undertaker and Michelle McCool are married. He keeps calling her mom.
Oh, fuck.
Then, then he says, he said something else that was cool. Oh, then he says that he's going to wipe Undertaker dry. And now we have in that contract signing. So we'll get into that later on in the show.
That sounds mad out of context. He's going to wipe Undertaker dry?
From his money. I should have been more.
Yeah, you think? You should have probably specified that there, buddy.
I mean, baby, I'm going to...
So wait, James, because this show gets better.
I don't want it. I don't.
24/7 title. Riddick Moss retained his 24/7 championship against Cedric Alexander. Afterwards, apparently on Raw, Cedric Alexander wrote, "Frustrating's the last word for it" on Twitter.
Yeah, no shit. How about Ricochet? He's probably next.
Oh.
Wait, repeat that, Mike.
He's not frustrated. He's just very angry.
What do you think about that, Mike? Cedric Alexander losing a 24/7 championship match to Riddick Moss.
Okay, let me put it like this. Cedric Alexander is 24/7 champion. That's the equivalent of giving fucking participation trophies.
Yes.
The 24/7 title is the participation trophy of wrestling.
Yep.
Oh, but it's like 24 hours a day, so random, wacky things can happen.
They have abolished the rule. 24/7 championship.
It's so wacky. 24/7 champion. Anything could possibly happen. 24/7.
I'm doing that.
Hey, do you remember when that was the ECW championship and we saw people get hit by fucking cars and then pinned?
Hold on, I'm sorry.
I can tell you the funny thing too about it. They suspend the rules while the champion's wrestling too.
So you were gonna use
wacky! Oh, that's so wacky!
Let's continue with this.
Titles, woohoo! Pizza.
Let's continue with this show. Triple H accepted the Honored Sports Classic Award. Good for him.
Of course, he gets a fucking award for doing what?
I guess running NXT.
I would say doing Vince McMahon's job.
Am I on? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep. Then it showed a nice video package for the Drew McIntyre Brock Lesnar build up while Paul Heyman hyped up Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre hyped up himself.
Yeah, you mean every other match that's going to take place in front of no crowd now?
Yeah, pretty much. Then we had Seth Rollins with Murphy versus Aleister Black. The match got thrown out. AOP and Murphy interfered. And then the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, you almost said Heavy Machinery, made the save. And it turned into an 8-man tag team match. Aleister Black just vanished. He was gone. I don't know where he went.
Cares.
And then Seth Rollins hit the stomp on Montez Ford and got the win. And then afterwards, Kevin Owens came out and attacked everybody. But
we're going to get the rematch between the Street Profits and Buddy Murphy, or we're going to have AOP get the belts from the Street Profits. Who cares?
James, his correct name, it's Murphy Buddy.
Murphy Buddy.
Seth Rollins hit 3 stomp. 3 stomps. I almost said the curb stomp, but I can't be saying that.
You'll get kicked off YouTube. You said curb stomp in a video. Oh no, kicked off YouTube.
Seth Rollins hit 3 stomps on Kevin Owens. He had 3 in a row. I actually enjoyed one. I give it like a B- 84 out of 100. I thought the segment that needed to delivered. So
I will take a quote from John Tuddy. I give it a D for did not watch.
You give it the same, Mike, a D for did not watch?
What watch? The watch. Thank you for noticing. This watch is very nice. I'm glad that you noticed.
I mean, Michael X, I do.
Is it clobbering time? I can't tell.
No, it's pop your it's pop your 40 and check your rollies, dude. It's crime time.
Crime time.
Wow.
Hey,
Brooklyn,
you know what time?
Brooklyn.
You know what time it is? Can we get off this fucking review? That's what time it is.
It is. We review now on the backstage.
Oh, great! Here comes.
Before we get to backstage,
I'm gonna
I'm making a golden rule. Mike and I are on here. No SmackDown review. No. We will not be subjected to that blasphemy.
Well, what about this week? Because it was technically an empty arena show, so it was a different
I
type.
don't care. If WWE did not give a shit, even though they said they were going to put smiles on people's faces and only gave you 2 matches on the whole show, I do not care and will not review it.
That's fine. On the backstage, it was hosted by Booker T, Renee Young, Xavier Woods, and Ember Moon. I'm still waiting for that segment that's going to happen with Paige and Xavier Woods are in the same room. Still hasn't happened yet. I really want it to happen. Why hasn't it happened?
Yeah, I also can't wait.
Anytime Xavier Woods and Paige are going to be on a show, one of them's not on. So.
Well, what I can't wait for, Owen, is for her to get fired again.
Ooh, that's a low blow.
It's true. Sorry. We're making a movie for Paige, and it sucked.
So it showed the intro where apparently Renee Young claimed she missed her flight, so she arrived to the show late. But you could totally tell this was set up because she was. What a coincidence! Even though she's already there, she was already all mic'd up and everything. Like, what are you doing?
By the way, how funny is it that they were making fun of this pandemic, like on the show, but then they took it seriously, like not even 4 days later.
Yep.
Hey, listen, people might die, but hey, people might die.
AJ Styles got interviewed. He called out The Undertaker some more. He talked about his greatest matches in WWE. And he talked about certain superstars that aren't getting the spot. They said the time didn't come. Just sometimes your career's gonna go in peaks and valleys in WWE. You can totally tell that's just the WWE answer he's given. And him and Xavier Woods talked about video games for 5 minutes. So there you go. It was enjoyable.
You know, I made a joke a long time ago with Matt called playing a game of jerk off. Now, the game of jerk off is jerking each other till something happens, and that has many different avenues and theories. But the one that I like the most is you are just binding, trying to make sure that you have enough time. It's time crunching. That's what jerk off is. So WWE from this point on, if there's a backstage segment from this point on, Owen, you have the exact right to say, well, WWE decided to play jerk off this week.
unless CM Punk's on.
By the way,
look at my fucking tattoo.
By the way, their ratings are tanking by the week.
Yep. It showed a highlight of the first. What they said was the first ever women's main event on Raw with Trish Stratus and Lita, which isn't true, but they say it.
No, because they just don't want to say China.
Yep.
For obvious reasons right now.
Triple H did some segments talking about his WrestleMania entrances and the end of an era match that he had with The Undertaker, what that meant for his career.
Yeah, nothing.
Then we had the satin sheet. This is where we finally got the report that Rob Gronkowski, I don't think they said he signed at this point, but he's basically signed now. They said he was in talks.
That's a great idea. Let's hire an ex-NFL athlete with a history of knee problems to the point that how many of those Super Bowls how many of those Super Bowl rings does he have in his finger that he actually attended the fucking Super Bowl to obtain?
One.
How many does he have?
Game he ever played.
How many does he have in his hand? 4?
And one of them he attended.
I mean, it's good marketing, I guess, but I'm just not a fan of.
You know why? Because not only does he have a history of knee problems, he has also a bum shoulder. He had a sling in the final NFL game he ever played. I'm surprised he made those miracle catches for Super Bowl 52.
So I'm guessing this is just going to be a an investment that WWE completely screwed up with. Like, this is just not a good investment.
That's who he is.
All right, moving on.
Rob Gronkowski is the nowadays equivalent of the basketball player that was a part of the NWO.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Oh, I was a wrestling fan when I was a kid, and I really like wrestling, and now I'm going to try to be a wrestler, and he's going to suck in the ring as well.
Yeah, and you know what the sad part is? Dennis Rodman is and will be better than Rob Gronkowski. Dennis Rodman was better than Tyson Fury. Dennis Rodman was better than fucking Cain Velasquez. If it were up to me, I would have put all my eggs into not signing Rob Gronkowski, but I'd put all my eggs into signing Conor McGregor. The fact that they haven't even reached out to him.
Yeah.
Well, because he's not going to take that type of, like, minimal money. You're out of your mind to go work for WWE after the amount of money that they were making.
It's not penance money anymore. They're making more money than the UFC is right now.
Who?
Freaking WWE, because of all the crap money they're getting from Saudi Arabia and network TV. So they can easily afford Conor McGregor.
I'm sorry, but part of me just doesn't believe you, and it's for obvious reasons. Going, WWE has more money than Dana White's promotion. I don't believe you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they do. Sadly.
How is that possible, XFL?
Because it's Saudi freaking Arabia and the Fox deal and the USA deal. That's why. It's solely on television alone.
All right, let's move on though. They talked about
It's true.
They talked about the best theme songs and fan experiences. That was actually pretty enjoyable.
Best theme song of all time is fucking Ministry of Darkness. Don't act.
No, you're wrong. The best theme ever was Right to Censor. Cheers, boys.
I think Xavier Woods threw that out there as a joke too. They threw out Jesse and Vestas. They threw out They threw out a lot of.
I love Xavier. He has such a good freaking sense of humor, honestly.
All right, so what do you want to do now? NXT, not this week, but the actual show that took place in the Performance Center with fans, or do you want to do AEW next? Not this week's, but last week's.
We'll do NXT just so that way we can end off on a bang with AEW from last week, to be honest.
Well, we got to do NXT UK. We got to do NXT UK too.
All right, so get all the NXT stuff out of the way, and let's make this quick.
All right, starting with the bump, because that has NXT-related stuff in it. Trying to find my notes for it.
Wait, I have to ask this question, actually. Did NXT UK have an audience?
Did NXT UK?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, because it's taped.
This was pre-taped? Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, we can review it.
Wait a second. Owen, you took notes?
For what?
No. You just said you took notes.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. He still takes notes. He just doesn't go as detailed anymore.
No, I was just saying because, okay, the major reason why I have to say that is because of the amount of WIW reviews that you've ever tried to do off the cuff, off the top of your head. And I remember just going for like months going, dude, just make a list.
Well, sometimes with the WIW ones, I record a after matches, so I'm doing it fresh off the cuff, so I think I don't need the notes, but I guess I do need the notes. Good feedback. Thanks, Mike. All right, so next we have The Bump, which aired on March 30th. We had the hosts Evan Mack, Matt Camp, and Ryan Popola. It showed an introduction where just everybody... they talked about how Caleb Braxton wasn't there. They didn't say why she wasn't there. They made it...
Why? You knew why.
They made a random excuse that she was shopping with Michael Hayes in cowboy hats, but...
To be fair, that's not out of the realm of possibility for Michael P.S. Hayes.
No, you're not wrong, but that's just so awful.
They said they were going to show footage of it later on in the episode. They never did, so...
They totally should have. Dude, that would have been TV gold. Oh my god, that's hilarious. That's the best excuse I've ever heard in my life. He's just out shopping with Michael PSA. They're preparing for the end of time.
Since you guys are bookers and you book a wrestling show, how would you guys book a segment between of that with Caleb Braxton shopping with Michael PSA? Let's start with Mike.
Oh man.
I have a song prepared for situations like that. You have to have shit prepared, and I have shit prepared, my dude.
So
I mean, there are multiple avenues you can go with this. I mean, the first avenue you can go is just have them do.
There's only one, and you know it. It has to be
PSA. Michael PSA is freaking out that there's no toilet paper, and Caleb Braxton trying to calm him down. No, it's the end of times. No, it's the end of times. No.
No, let me tell you exactly how you go with this. All you need is do you believe in magic? And slow-mo, and you have a promo and a half. Done. I have solved the problem.
There you go.
You have to look at it. Oh, and if you don't get it, just look up the lyrics to those two songs. You'll understand.
Magic. And then you slow motion. That's all you need is slow motion.
Continuing with the show, Mark Henry got interviewed. He talked about his career and the impact big men have had on wrestling and what they could have in the future. Drake Maverick got interviewed and talked about how he's ready to take his wrestling career seriously. He wants to show a serious side of him in the ring instead of his comedy stuff. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see.
Doing anyway. Honestly, him and Kurt Angle would have been great together.
Oh, absolutely. Remember, they had a great TNA World Championship match a few years ago at Destination X.
I do remember that. That was fucking phenomenal. That's really what put Drew Gulak on the map, too. Angle was, like, putting over young guys before WWE signed him again. Like, his TNA, the last TNA title run he had, he put over EC3. He put over Drew Gulak. I remember when he left Impact, he put over Zack Sabre Jr., and that put him on the map. That's what got him a contract with New Japan.
You mean Drake Maverick, not Drew Gulak, right? You keep it screwing up and saying Drew Gulak. It's Drake Maverick.
It's Drew Gulak.
No, it's Drake Maverick.
Well, both. I think he did have a match with Drew Gulak, though, in the Indies, didn't he?
Maybe.
I know he had matches with Spud and Sabre Jr.
Then we had the Bump 100 where Dan Vollmeyer tried to make... What's up, Mike?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something. He tried to break down what was going on within the week of wrestling in 100 seconds. He went over again. I think he's always going to go over 100 seconds. So, Bobby Lashley got interviewed. I'm just going to skip right over that. He really didn't say anything.
You gotta use the correct term for backstage segment. He was playing jerk off in the back.
Right. That was, and it was Bobby Lashley was over.
Wait, no. This is the proper title, Mike. They're playing jerk off to the back.
In all fairness, though, Bobby Lashley was backstage.
Let's cut it to you, Cole.
Bobby Lashley wasn't backstage, though. He was over Skype.
Oh, that's even better. Is it because he's also banned at home, so that way he can't touch anybody else's wives?
That's right.
How much you want to bet that they don't actually do it live and they just have Bobby Lashley record and just literally stay silent with nobody listening?
Dude, I wish the Skype call cut out. That would have been fucking hilarious. How is our friendly neighborhood champion Black Lesnar doing?
There. I answered your question, Owen. He's not doing good. Next.
Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish did interview. They talked about the tag title match coming up, how they've been a team since 2012. They actually showed like pictures of the ROH stage, which was kind of cool. So
yay! I appreciate that.
Then someone like invaded the bump. They came in, they went to like the receptionist and tried to find the bump studio. It was like earlier in the day, and I guess he showed up too early because there was no show going on when he went in there. So he looked like a fool.
There was a show.
Then we had breaking news. We found out we were going to get Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai in a NXT Women's Championship qualifying match for a show that's not happening now. So it's not good.
Probably not.
Now let's get to NXT from last week. So James, I'll start with you. What was the highlights for you for NXT for last week? What was something that really stood out to you last week?
Charlotte and Rhea, that was really it. I kind of skipped it this week. I'll be honest with you. There was a lot going on.
That's fine.
And all I wanted to do was just watch Dynamite and call it a day. I really couldn't be asked. I love NXT, but not enough to watch it during a time where I knew they were going to cancel the show anyway. And by the way, they did.
Yeah. So what did you want to talk about that segment then with Charlotte and Rhea since you saw it?
It's all right. The crowd was into it. That's about it. I don't really remember much because I just tried to block out the fact that it was in the fucking PC.
Well, this
Granted,
week
there was a crowd at least. Granted, there was a crowd, but...
Well, that time, at least in that episode, it wasn't because of the situation. It was because Full Sail was holding some type of event anyways, so they already had this plugged in.
I'm sure they had to cancel right before anyway, because all universities were closing down right around that time.
Mike, what about you? Any highlights from NXT, or did you not see NXT either?
I have to agree with James, honestly, on this one. I watched it, and I don't know, it was kind of forgettable.
All right, I'll just quickly run through that, too. We had the commentary team of Beth Phoenix, Molinaro, and Nigel McGuinness. Beth Phoenix, this was to return back to commentary since, Randy Orton later out.
At that point, yeah.
We had the intro where it kind of talked about like what people's careers meant at the Performance Center, which was great. We had an NXT North American Championship match. Keith Lee defeated Cameron Grimes. That was a very good North American Championship match. Definitely check that one out. Keith Lee won. Afterwards, he won with the Big Bang Theory too. But there were points where you thought Cameron Grimes could have won the championship. He actually hit a wicked deadlift German suplex onto Keith Lee. That was impressive as hell. I think he hit it once regular and once off the turnbuckles. That was impressive.
Grimes. AKA, you'll know him by this name probably, Mike. Trevor Lee is always freakishly strong.
Yes.
Afterwards, Damian Priest, who Mike might know better as Punishment Martinez, assaults Keith Lee from behind with a nightstick, and he walks to the. He is going to insult him some more, but then Dominic Dijakovic comes out, and Damian Priest takes off, and Keith Lee doesn't know who hit him, so he thinks that it was Dominic Dijakovic who hit him, so he lays him out with the spirit bomb and leaves. I like the way they did all this. Before we're
gonna get a 3-way big house match if NXT was canceled.
I think we were gonna get like a 4-way match, honestly, with Cameron Grimes included too. Maybe he would find his way in there. But I mean, this segment was still awesome, though. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, cool.
And then I didn't really enjoy this next thing too much. I understand what they're doing here, but it just wasn't really something I would have done. So it was Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai when Cal Gonzalez went inside. This was to determine who was going to qualify for the ladder match. That's not happening now. And Mia Yim actually won with protected neck, which I don't agree with at all. Where Cal Gonzalez kept trying to interfere, but they screwed up. Huh?
Could have been Dakota Kai.
Yeah, should have been Dakota Kai. The match was really good. I think Dakota Kai. Never mind, I can't say what I think because nothing's happening. So forget it.
Yep.
I think she would have found a way to be in it, but then it shows Tommaso Ciampa arriving into the building. Then we had a dog vignette. They're doing this. You've probably seen it, James. It's like this clock, like the church clock going off. Like someone's.
Oh my God! Kill it with fire.
I don't know who it is, who's debuting, who I don't know. So we'll find out.
Most
The
likely,
Time
it's Killer
Master.
Cross.
Or the
It's Killer Cross. It's Killer Cross.
we had Kushida versus Wall Mendoza. This match was pretty good. Kushida won with the armbar. Later on in the show, when Mia Yim gets interviewed about being in the ladder match, they do this. Actually, Mike, you might enjoy this segment because this sounds like a segment that you would just laugh at. This call pulls up, nearly runs over Mia Yim, and these three dudes come out like dressed in luchador masks and kidnap Wall Mendoza. Like, I don't know what's going on here. What's going to happen?
It's a house party. They've come back for their brethren.
Mike, what do you think about that though? That segment, because it sounds. I don't know why it just
It
sounds.
was something, but I'm gonna sit there and say, eh.
It just sounds like something.
Are you kidnapping Raul? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Why are he's stealing my padre?
I don't know why, but I just
Bueno no noches.
for some strange reason,
Bueno,
No bueno, no bueno. No steal my padre.
for some strange reason, when I saw this though, I was just thinking, I don't know why. This sounds like something Mike would book with just three guys in luchador matches.
No, you have. I'm gonna be honest. You have no idea how I book.
Apparently,
You'll know how we book in 2021. There you go.
yep.
Hopefully, 2021.
Yeah, right.
Tyler Breeze got interviewed at the Performance Center. He was talking about what it was like to be back there, you know, considering the fact that he was like an original that got the Performance Center started. Then Austin Theory pops up and is being really condescending. And Tyler Breeze just takes a picture of him and says, I'm just taking a picture of the new flash on the pad of WWE. And this pisses off Austin Theory. So I think he was supposed to set up to a match, but we don't know when that match is going to happen.
Everybody's bullying poor Austin Theory. Like, he came in as a babyface against the freaking biggest enemy in NXT, the Undisputed Era for the North American title when Roderick Strong held the belt.
Yep.
And now he's just a heel and everyone's just giving him shit for no reason.
Everybody's shitting on his cornflakes, okay? Leave the man alone.
Dude, he's not Rice Krispies. You can't just go up to him and say, snap, crackle, fuck you, and punch him in the face, okay?
There's the pop.
I enjoyed this segment though. I was, you know, I would love to see a match between him and.
Too, but they never explain why he's a heel.
I guess because Tommaso Ciampa beat the crap out of him, and he turned heel from that. But
he looked like an asshole. Poor dude. I still remember that segment, and poor Austin Theory just gets freaking dude. He got battering rammed so many. I've never seen a barricade and a human being simultaneously, two barricades actually, be so abused by one human being.
One barricade. Two barricades.
Rhea Ripley cut a promo. We already went through that, so we don't need to go through it again. We had a storyline on the NXT UK Championship situation. We find out Finn Balor has his passport and he's going to travel over to the UK to deal with it.
Yeah. Good luck with that, bud.
Well, this was before. This was. If you do think about it in kayfabe terms, yeah, how did he travel over there if you don't know NXT UK is taped? I guess he found a way. Like, did he go there
I'm sure Kathy Kelly is loving that.
He just walked
Yeah.
all the way there. He put on his moon shoes and bounced his ass all the way to the arena.
No. It's even worse than that. He's actually Jesus in disguise. So he just walked across the Atlantic Ocean to get to the UK.
Jesus!
Why not?
You know, the only reason they were going to give him that championship was for NXT TakeOver Dublin, which also was not happening, I bet.
Yep. I have a feeling he was gonna get the match at Tampa. He was gonna win the belt from Walter and lose the belt at probably Dublin. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Tegan
I
Knox.
doubt he was going to do that. I think it was going to be a night for Ireland. I think it was going to be Jordan Devlin, and I think they were going to pull up Benoit and Benoit and Eddie with Devlin and Balor hugging each other in the middle of the ring with the Cruiserweight and UK championships.
That would have been awesome.
But they can't do it now because it's not happening.
Yep. Tegan Knox defeated Deonna Purrazzo to qualify for the ladder match. That's not happening now, so there you go.
Yeah, next. Do you see why I didn't care about watching the show?
I don't know. Well, in all fairness, I watched the show before I knew that it was going to get canceled. So reviewing it now makes me sad.
Right. This is why I didn't watch it, because I was going to watch it before all this bullshit happened.
So then we had the tag title match. The Velveteen Dream cut a promo on the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole talked about how he was going to have a championship celebration that he didn't have now because it got canceled. And Velveteen Dream, this is like this storyline I hate in NXT. This is like the most convoluted storyline NXT's ever come up with this whole Velveteen Dream Undisputed Era.
You're a convoluted.
You know what? I hated it in the beginning, and then I liked how they at least ended it off. I gave him shit because why is he attacking Strawn and his family? And then when they revealed why he did it, it all made sense. So, like, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's stupid that he gave Roderick Strong an easy dub, but you know, at least it was a method to the madness, and he did it to beat down Adam Cole. And he was going to challenge for the NXT title and most likely win it, which was a fine choice anyway. And the way they built it up was not too bad.
Well, guess what? The problem
is now
nothing. So that storyline all for nothing.
Hey, NXT's worst angle in years. All for nothing.
Although the Broserweights and Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly had an awesome tag title match. Not as good as the match at Portland, but it was still awesome. They won.
Portland.
Yeah, Portland, my bad. They still won. The Grizzled Young Veterans tried to interfere, but they failed. So they were probably setting up a triple threat or just a standard tag team match. But guess what? Not happening now. So
yeah, not happening.
And then Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano beat the crap out of each other in the Performance Center. All everywhere. They just destroyed the place.
And nobody cares.
I don't care anymore because it's not happening. You know what? I'm still going to give it.
It sucks too. There's twice now. This is twice that Gargano and Ciampa were supposed to get their fucking moment of at WrestleMania weekend, and both times it's now been robbed of them because the situation's out of their control.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck the world, man. Honestly.
I'm still going to give NXT like. I'm going to give it an A. The original grade I was going to give it because I'm not going to.
The fact, like, I'm sure it was a great show. It sucks. Now, none of this all this build up for no show that's going to happen now because Vince is an asshole, and yeah, that's that. And by the way, while we're on that subject, the fact that they're holding, and Mike, I'm sure you're going to laugh at this. Because of the way they reacted in a panic, like everybody else in the damn world did, with the reason we mentioned in the beginning of the video.
Go on.
WWE is now hosting WrestleMania, not at the Tampa Bay Stadium, in the Performance Center.
With nobody there.
No one in the building.
Which their personal performance center?
Yep. Yeah, and not just that, dude.
Happy day! Oh, happy day!
Yeah, dude, that's not even the worst of it. Takeover now canceled. They don't even want to host Takeover in the Performance Center. So they're just hoping this blows over and they postpone it until then.
Hall of Fame canceled.
But Hall of Fame is also canceled. So no Jushin Thunder Liger, none of those guys in the Hall of Fame this year.
Well, they're postponing it probably.
They're postponing it. They're saying they're postponing it. They're not going to do it.
Let's see. XFL suspended.
XFL suspended. Their season's over.
Backstage.
Their season's over out of a situation beyond their control. No, actually, they say it's beyond their control, but if people fucking stopped and think, like we said in the beginning of the video, this wouldn't be happening at all with any business, period.
Backstage canceled.
Backstage canceled. Raw. The only things that aren't canceled, of course, is their worst shows. Raw, SmackDown, and WrestleMania. That's it. Creatively speaking.
WXW is canceled, which is where I believe John Moxley was supposed to face
Josh Barnett, right?
David Starr for the belt, or in a champion versus champion match.
Right.
CMLL suspended. They had to suspend.
Every independent wrestling league is suspended because everyone is in a panic.
The only independent show that's on is ROH and Impact, but that's because they were already taped before, you know.
And they're on their way out the door as well, I'm sure. Like, if they do not, and here's the thing, this doesn't just apply to wrestling. We talked about this. I don't think we've mentioned this part. If they do not get a grip on people, if they don't stop this mass panic, this is going to be catastrophic to the world economy.
Yeah.
Because businesses are going to shut down from this.
Absolutely.
And for absolutely bullshit reasons. And that's why I brought up the point of either they're dumb as fuck or they did it on purpose. Because there's a very huge possibility that they're only doing this just to solely blame the economy crashing on Donald Trump, when it was really the media that was causing a mass hysteria that caused the fucking crash. Although the big problem with that is their own candidate that installed breakers in the system for the stock market was Barack Obama, so they can't do that.
So
woohoo!
Yeah.
Politically fueled nonsense. It's politically fueled nonsense.
I hate it. It's so stupid. All of
Fueled
it's dumb.
by politics, and it sucks dick.
Let's review NXT UK. I forgot we had to review that, and then we went over all that news.
Over NXT UK. Be quick about it.
March 12th. It aired on March 12th, 2020. It's episode 86. We have a new commentary team. It's Nigel McGuinness and Andy Shepherd now, which
nobody cares.
They're actually great together on commentary. Andy Shepherd surprisingly is great at play-by-play. I don't know if he's done play-by-play before, but he's great at it. Going over it, Finn Balor arrives. He calls out Walter, but the whole Imperium come out, and he does a hit and run. Pretty much they charge the win, and he basically just quickly hits it, attacks everybody, and leaves. Later on in the show, Alexander Wolf was pissed off, and he went to Sid Scala and Johnny Saint and demanded a match. And Johnny Saint was just like, okay. Like, it's actually a great reaction, because if you know Johnny Saint, like how he runs the show, it's just so casual, so I just loved it. We had that match. Marcel Bartel and Fabian Aichner got ejected, and Finn Balor won with the 1916. That made sense because, obviously he's supposed to face Walter.
Good luck being stuck in the UK, Finn.
And then later on in the show, it shows him leaving the arena, and he has awkward face-offs. The most awkward one is with Tyler Bate, because if you know the history from Worlds Collide, it was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that quite a bit. It was cool to see Finn Balor. I know he's wrestled in the UK before against Devlin, but it was kind of cool to see them on a full-time presence. He's clearly the face in the feud, but he's not acting like a face, really. He's kind of more in the tweener role, because he still keeps his gimmick that he had.
He's the face in the role because it's going to be in Ireland, and he's going to get the big hometown reaction, which, by the way, need I remind you all, is not happening now.
Then Piper Niven got interviewed and is setting up an NXT UK Women's Title match that's not happening anytime soon. So, showed a video package for Tyler Bate. Pretty Deadly squashed Therese Gordon and Dan Maloney. It was a squash. I forget the finish, but it was a squash. They also announced this is happening because of the tape. Jordan Devlin in 2 weeks is going to defend the NXT Cruiserweight Championship against Travis Banks. I'm actually excited about that match. I bet that could be a
That's
hell of
gonna be right. That's gonna be a banger.
I'm happy that the UK title is finally going to be defended on NXT UK. So I'm happy about that.
Banger? I barely know her.
Then we had a setup between Dave Massive, Mark Andrews, and Flash Morgan Webb. So they were talking at the Performance Center. And they're going to have a match with Gallus. They actually have already had it. It's probably it's happening as we speak. So I'm actually excited about that match, even though I don't really know what Gallus are, because 1 week they're face, 1 week they're heels, so I don't know what's going on there. Noam Dar defeated Ligero in a very competitive match. I really enjoyed that. Travis Banks got interviewed talking about, the Cruiserweight Championship match, how he's excited about it. It's actually going to take place in the same arena where they had their Falls Count Anywhere match, so that's exciting. Mike, this is a wrestling name, so brace yourselves. A male fought Danny Luna. A male, that's a wrestling name now.
Yeah, he's a mare. You're a bird. James is a James.
No, not a male. A male, like a male, like as in a boy. A male.
His name is a male.
Yep.
At least he comes out and says who he is. I really wish it was a male and it was a woman. That would make it even fucking funnier.
It is a woman.
It is a woman.
This is a woman.
That dude has tits. It's awkward. There's no such thing as chicks with dicks. Only dudes with tits.
A male is a woman, though. That's the funny thing.
Oh, I was just. Oh, somebody hit her with the fucking. With the oh no stick, huh?
Why didn't they change that fucking name? They do it with everybody else.
Don't worry, guys.
When a man is a woman.
Guys, don't worry. Kaylee Ray came in and interrupted the whole match. The match got thrown out, and then Kaylee Ray did a promo saying that she ruled the NXT UK Women's Division. Because she's the champion, so it's her division.
Uh-huh.
This is my division cliche. Ooh, ooh.
Did you say X meets Y? That's crazy.
Eva Valkyrie did a vignette, but I don't remember what she said, so it's unimportant.
Well, we know where Owen is on the chart of not getting laid. That's one of them.
They did set up a couple of matches, though, on WWE.com. They set up Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter versus Imperium, so that could be exciting.
But you shouldn't have to say they set up matches for WWE.com.
Yeah, should have been set up on the show.
I thought NXT UK was really good, though. Definitely having Finn Balor there was awesome, so I give it like a B, 86 out of 100.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Want to do 205, or do you want to just move on?
No, really, I really don't.
James wants to do 2 Die right now.
I want to do Dynamite, because Dynamite was the only show that actually tried.
First, we got to do AEW Doc from like 2 weeks ago.
Who cares?
Well,
actually, no, Dark was alright. Dark was actually a pretty good show.
This is episode 20.
But I'm just saying, like, it's mostly because of the simple fact of, you have to go watch the YouTube series to continue watching what you're watching on TV is just a little much. I don't have the patience for that shit.
I can't blame you. Some people don't. We had episode 24. It was hosted by Tony Schiavone and Dasha Gonzalez, and the commentary team was Excalibur and Taz.
Teeth.
Two.
Damn it, I said it first. Go fuck yourself, James.
Our boy and his dinosaur defeated Peter Avalon and Kip Sabian.
That's a fucking oddball pairing.
I enjoyed it just for the dinosaur alone, so I feel like that you guys should expect that.
Don't you even start doing them dinosaur bullshit numbers, you son of a bitch.
I won't. We don't do Star Waves anymore with these shows, if you notice. So.
Don't even.
Jimmy Havoc defeated, I believe his name is Sorvino Colente.
No, I don't care.
Like?
He defeated.
I knew he was back, and they didn't want him on Dynamite because of his drunken escapades, so they put him on Dark. That's all I know.
Hey, they weren't escapades. They were escapades.
After the match, Luther attacks Jimmy Havoc. They're setting up some type of death match. It might not happen anytime soon because of this, situation. But
they're gonna. Well, something tells me they're still gonna do. Something tells me after last week's Dynamite or this week's Dynamite, I should say, they're probably gonna do it and say, "Fuck this."
Then he attacked him backstage afterwards. I'm actually excited to see Jimmy Havoc versus Luther in a death match. I think that's going to be an awesome match.
That should be very good. I've seen some Dr. Luther clips. Yeah, he's no joke. And Jimmy Havoc, we already know what he could do in a hardcore setting. So that is very. I am very much looking forward to that. That's what makes Dark unique. If they do death match or hardcore wrestling on those shows and make that the main event of the live show, that's cool. I think that's a cool concept. It makes the show, even though it's not important all the time, it makes a Dark feel important where WWE doesn't even try with main event or their other shows.
The funny thing is, too, James, he wrestled on Dark. He's actually a good wrestler. Like, I was shocked. I thought he was just a guy.
Yeah, he was a very technically sound, I was told.
Abaddon wrestled Hikaru Shida. Did you see what Abaddon was like, James? I don't know if you have seen him yet.
That was the weirdest fucking character I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, no, thank you. Never again. I thought I saw everything with Rosemary and that whole freaking menagerie thing and the whole Abyss and Crazy Steve team up with Rosemary. I thought I saw it all. With the creepy gimmick, then this happened. What the fuck? What's up with her eye?
I don't know.
You guys
are gonna think I'm weird though, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I
hated it. I hated it. It was too. There was a thing where creepy can work, and then there's a time where it's so creepy that I'm like, nah, I'm good. This is that kind of creepy.
Mike, have you seen this yet? What Abaddon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was. It was.
It was turn off the TV kind of scary, right?
It was time to go to bed.
I am now gonna have nightmares for 4 weeks.
That's good news for you. You lost Kushida though. That's good news for you. So
yeah, I'm glad Kushida beat her. Good.
Beat her.
I mean, maybe we were in a disagreement. I think they should have signed her like yesterday. So
no.
James, what you're saying is she came in and she beat her.
What?
She came in and she beat her.
Oh, I get the joke. She beat her.
They beat her.
Then the librarians were backstage. They catch Cole Cabana listening to a podcast, but they were upset he wasn't reading a book or anything like that. So it's going to be a match in AW.
You piece of shit.
What if he was listening to an audiobook? I'm just saying. That's reading.
Well, what if he just listened?
Well, he did say he was listening. He did tell them he was listening to a podcast, so that's what made him mad.
You don't read? No. Readings for losers and faggots.
I gotta admit that I'm glad it's not on Dynamite a lot, but that act on Dark, it has its place. It's funny, especially that now the whole I'm a podcaster, I'm a librarian. Well, fuck you.
That's pretty much what it.
Great, I love it. Hey, you know why I love it? I think this is why I love it. It's simple. It's not convoluted. That's what it is. I realize why I actually like that now. It's not the greatest feud idea in the world, but it's fucking simple and it's not overcomplicated garbage.
You're gonna love the next one. After Peter Avalon walked away, Leva Bates said, "I love your podcast," to Cole Cabana. So that was
yeah, because she's the face librarian and Avalon's the heel librarian.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a face or a heel librarian. It's just
there is such a thing as a face librarian if she's hot. And Leva Bates ain't that bad looking. I'm just saying.
I bet he is.
All right.
No, because you said it's the librarian and specify which one.
She. A librarian. All right, I'm sorry. You're right.
I'm
sorry. I realized what you meant. A librarian that happens to be female that is hot.
Exactly. There you go. That's better.
Then we had the main event. Brandon Cutler and Sonny Kiss lost a private party. Brandon Cutler, though, he's really showing himself, though. Like, he was like...
Dude, I've been advocating for Brandon Cutler to get on Dynamite. I think he's actually vastly improved since his first match on Dynamite. He needs to be on TV.
I know you guys don't watch Being the Elite, but I think they're building an angle between him and Peter Avalon because they keep making fun of each other that they haven't gotten a win on Dynamite yet and such, and it's actually great. Like, I hope they have a match, and Brandon Cutler should win that match because I don't think Peter Avalon's ever going to
the bigger star than Avalon ever will be, to be honest, and he has way more potential.
Absolutely. So yeah, James, do you want to talk about what was something that stood out to you on Dynamite last week?
So this is from last week, correct?
Yep. So this is the episode that had fans.
Right. Definitely that tag match. That tag match was fucking great. Actually, all their tag matches were really great.
Well, which one specifically?
I would say the one with Death Triangle taking on Private Party and Joey Janela. That was a fucking banger. Death Triangle looked strong. Joey Janela actually got some shine. Private Party's always fantastic. That was like the best match on that whole show, bar none. I'd highly suggest. Like, you could tell they're already building. They're testing the waters with 6-man teams. I really like the oddball pairing of Janela and Private Party because they actually work due to the fact that even though he's not black, he is a party boy in Joey Janela, and he actually fits with the Private Party group extremely well. They also have obviously the Lucha. See, I did what you did. Jurassic Express. Now they have the Death Triangle. And they have the Elite. Obviously, they have the Inner Circle. Been like a bunch of different variations. They've got some 6-man teams. You can tell they're building a division around it, and you can tell tag team wrestling is taken seriously in AEW to the point where not only do they have teams of 2, they have teams of 3 without even having a 6-man belt yet.
You also have MJF, the Butcher and the Blade too, since they've been kind of a thin.
That's very true. You can also make the argument that if you really wanted to make it interesting, have Lance Archer join the Butcher and the Blade, and then there you go. I don't think he should. I think if he should join anybody, it's with MJF and Sean Spears. But I could see a lot of. I could just see a lot of things that like in the pipeline of 6-man tag titles should be a thing, and that's a great thing because like they're not rushing into it, they're building it up. They are claiming that they're going to at some point in the future, and they know they have plans for that in the future, so they're building to it now, with awesome 6-man tag team action. I love the MJF, the Butcher, and the Blade versus the Jurassic Express. I thought that match was fucking booked.
That
might be the best Jurassic Express match that they've had so far since Marco Stunt joined, due to the fact that the way they booked it was actually perfect, and no one got hurt. No one got hurt taking a loss in the end.
So I'll go through. So yeah, I really like the Death Triangle. So I don't know if you watched the Dynamite videos. They actually, I don't think that's going to be the official team name, but they kept Joey Janela and Private Party were joking about and saying they're gonna call each other the Death Oreo, and you could obviously you should get what that joke is. So.
That's good.
So,
That's
and if
fucking
they're making,
oh god.
and if they're making the jokes, you can make the jokes too. So
Yeah, I don't care. That's hilarious.
But
Oh, Joey, you're freaking you're national treasure, you.
But I really enjoyed that 6-man tag team match. I really love that. I hope they adopt that like double submission that they did like afterwards, and they were attacking him after the match.
That was a cool submission.
And then obviously they're setting up a 6-man tag team match at some point with Best Friends and Orange Cassidy versus the Death Triangle. Really excited about that. So obviously, you guys know, I really was mixed on that other 6-man tag team match because I had to see Luchasaurus get destroyed. That was sad. It kind of hurt me a lot. Like
he got destroyed, but eventually, I love how Jungle Boy got that hot tag. He was over.
Yeah,
he was over.
You know what the funny thing is? It really showed. So I think a lot of people think only Luchasaurus can work the hot tag. So he really showed he can actually like sell really well. It really.
Yeah, he really could. He's good, and he's a little rough around the edges with his selling, but he'll only get better over time.
I mean, how often he's never really had to sell all that much anyway. So
very true. The other thing is,
Mike, what do you think of these two 6-man tag team matches?
They were good. They were very, very good. I can at least say that I was entertained. 6-man matches are kind of one of the hard things to do correctly because you have to make sure that enough people have enough time.
Right.
But it was good. It was not a bad match.
Yeah, both matches were very good. I assume your favorite one out of the two, like me, is the Death Triangle one.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the best one. That was the best one out of the whole night. Another highlight for me, I really enjoyed the Santana and was it Santana? Santana that fought Cody, right? Or was it Ortiz?
Ortiz. All
right, it was Ortiz. It's still whoever it was. It was a good match. I really liked that tease. They didn't go straight into Lance Archer attacks. They teased Lance Archer, and I love how Jake Roberts is his mouthpiece. I love how Jake Roberts is his manager. This is a fucking. First off, this is a big get for AEW anyway, but like just adding Jake Roberts to the overall package of the Murder Hawk Lance Archer is like the icing on the cake. Like that gives him a sense of legitimacy. I really love that pairing. I think that pairing's going to go far. And if they do it right, they could do this faction idea that I was pitching. Maybe not with Adam Hangman Page, but maybe you could do it with MJF, Sean Spears, Wardlow, and the Murder Hawk Lance Archer with Tully Blanchard and Jake Roberts at the helm. Now tell me that doesn't sound like a cool faction idea.
So obviously we had that match. Cody would win in the end. I actually really like how they did this because WWE, you're so used to watching, you think, okay, Cody's going to get him in the figure 4, Santana's going to run in and like attack him, and that didn't happen. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, AEW's got that unpredictability factor with everything they do. Like they do stuff differently that no other company's doing, and they try to be as original as possible, which is huge in this industry because everything's been done in fucking wrestling. So the fact that they're trying to find ways that either that are new or haven't been done before or haven't been done in a long time, I should say, is great. And that's why I love it. And that's why AEW Dynamite, bar none, is like the best wrestling show on TV right now.
Absolutely. And then, afterwards, this is just basically the build up of the whole show. Earlier on the show, Hangman Adam Page was going to pick a mystery tag team partner.
And, I love the build up to that, where it was Hangman flipped on, like, I would never team with one of you motherfuckers or whatever, because he doesn't like the Young Bucks and the fact that they keep dragging him into the Elite.
So after this show,
he was going to fight them by himself. He was going to fight, who was it that he was fighting?
Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
Jericho and Sammy Guevara, together. And then they did a whole angle where they got rid of one of the Bucks.
Yep.
Earlier in the night with Jericho, they closed the freaking garage door on him as hard as they could. I assume Jake Hager had something to do with that. And you could tell because he'd be the biggest guy to actually do some damage with something like that. And then, freaking, just the way they built it up, where Dustin cut the one of the. He's such a good promo. He just said, "You ain't gonna attack my Nightmare family anymore, motherfucker. Hangman, I'm gonna tag team with you whether you like it or not." And then they got along so well because it's just like, fuck it, we both have chips on our shoulder. Let's do this. I love the continuity. I love that they didn't have Hangman just screw over Dustin for no reason. I love that they worked together as a cohesive unit. And I love the continuity. AEW has such great continuity, honestly, with every show that they do. Like, if you're a casual like Mike, who just is like, he'll watch the show from time to time, but like, if you watch it just monthly and catch a show here and there, you're caught up with what's going on and you'll love it regardless. If it's a pay-per-view, you'll like it, you'll really like it or love it. And there really isn't that bad of a show. There may be a bad segment very, very few times. But, like, Dynamite has good consistency and continuity.
Absolutely.
Which is huge in wrestling. And it showed here. I think it really showed in the build-up to the main event of Dustin and Hangman Page versus Sammy and Jericho.
You know, we also found out, like, what the rules are going to be for Blood and Guts. It's basically the War Game rules, except that it's submission or surrender, which I love. I love that touch. That's such a good touch to it. And later on in the show, but after Hangman Adam Page and Dustin Rhodes defeated Jericho and Sammy Guevara, I actually don't think it hurt Jericho, like, the Inner Circle at all, because I think they're getting. I haven't seen the show yet, so don't tell me. I think they're winning the match to get the man advantage anyway. And they looked strong at the end of the show. So
exactly, they got their heat back, and they took out. You know, they stood tall at the end of Dynamite that week, and I love the ending shot where Jericho just, after Hangman and Adam Page and Nick Jackson come to blows, where Jackson gives him the finger, he just gets clocked in the head of the chair. It was a great piece of business, honestly.
I mean, I really like this feud. They're showing, that the Elite's broken pretty much. That the Inner Circle's like a cohesive unit, pretty much.
It's very good. It's incredible. It's a very good show, and they know how to book they know how to book stars. They know how to star. They give the stars the platform.
They know how to star.
They give them a sink or swim option to get over.
Yep.
And that's fair because AEW, however, is run by guys that have worked in two of the biggest companies in the world.
Right.
You have somebody who's worked in WWE and in New Japan, and you have Omega, who started his entire career in New Japan, and the Bucks being pretty much indie famous more than any other. So you have like 4 guys that have been in so many different leagues of different types of entertainment that they know what they're talking about, at least.
Right.
Or at least we hope Booker knows what he's talking about, because I don't know if Cody's booking any of these matches or any of these cards.
He's booking. Cody is booking the matches he's involved with and a lot of the main event shit, but otherwise he just kind of takes ideas from everybody. And then, from what I understand, it all filters back to Tony Khan now, which I think is how they should have done it anyway.
Yep.
Tony Khan has gotten involved in a lot of this creative shit too. And the best part about Tony Khan getting involved is you can tell he's a wrestling fan. You can tell he's passionate about this. And you can tell that he wants to put on the best show possible every single night, and he wants everything to make sense. And he's also a wrestling fan that happens to be a billionaire, and that is what we've been needing in wrestling for so fucking long. Honestly,
absolutely,
we've needed that for so long, and thank God for guys like Tony Khan, especially in these fucking times. I kid you not.
So then, other things we missed on the show that we'll talk about. Christopher Daniels did a mock video of the Dark Order.
How did I forget about that? That was hilarious. Oh, that was good. That was
awesome. Basically, though, it's used. They set up 2 matches: him versus Stu Grayson and him versus Evil Uno. And he said if the Exalted One doesn't show himself to help you win these matches, then there is no Exalted One. I actually kind of like that they went with that part of the story. Like, that's possibly not even an Exalted One. This could all just be them talking out of their ass. I was worried they were going to go with that direction because you get let down so often by wrestling that you're worried they're going to like do that. But we're gonna have the reveal. Don't tell me who it is because I still want to.
I'm not gonna tell you who it is. I will just tell you, you're gonna be shocked with who it is and his cadence of his speech.
All right.
Don't make me say cadence.
You don't have to. I just said it once. Hey, I just said it once. Fuck off, cunt.
But you said about the cadence.
But there is at least tell me somebody though, right?
It is somebody, yes.
Okay, so it wasn't just them talking out of their ass then.
No, absolutely not. They had a plan going in.
Then, but yeah, Mike, what did you think of that mock video that Christopher Daniels did with the Dark Order? Like,
I thought it was funny, but I'm not shocked because it's Daniels.
Daniels is a funny dude.
Dude, Daniels got Curry Man over for fuck's sake.
Oh, meet you up.
Konnichiwa. Oh, it's so good.
And then Darby Allin did a video package. I think he said he wants to kill Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara because he took like a body bag.
Oh, I remember that. That was great. They actually really are. That was a good video. I love it, dude. Honest to God, can we agree that out of everybody in AEW, the fastest rising star is Darby Allin?
Absolutely.
That guy is getting over, man. Like that, his presentation is so simple yet so complex. It works. It just works.
When they put it, if they put in like an actual well, they're not calling it a mid card though. What are they calling it?
Workhorse title.
Workhorse title. He should be the first champion.
I firmly agree with that. It's either him or MJF. Those are like the 2 candidates. Those are the 2 fastest rising stars in AEW right now. The finals have to be Darby Allin and MJF, no question about it.
I wouldn't complain if Pac was the first champion either. So.
Oh yeah, true. How do you forget about Pac? I don't know about Pac. Just if they're gonna, because I say that because if they're gonna do the 6-man tag belts, he'll be preoccupied with that because I'm pretty sure Death Triangle is going to be the first 6-man tag. That's going to be the Lucha Brothers. Basically, that's going to be the way they give them a receipt for putting over the Young Bucks. All those times when AEW first started.
Yeah.
So I think that's how. And not to mention Pac when it came to Omega. So that's probably how they're going to pay them forward. Is having them as the inaugural 6-man champions, which honestly, that's exactly how it should start. I think the Death Triangle, if they do the 6-man tag belts, should be the Death Triangle. I think that's the best option you can go with. As far as who, at that point, that leaves you with Darby Allin and MJF.
Yeah.
Those are like the 2 bad, like either them or Sammy Guevara. If you're going to do the 12-man and not a 16-man, the finals have got to be Sammy Guevara, MJF, and Darby Allin.
Oh, that'd be great.
And quite honestly, if that is a triple threat match, I would highly suggest that you have Darby Allin overcome the odds and win the belt. That would be a great way because he's done it before. And this time he could actually do it because he gets his revenge on Sammy G and he gets one over on MJF by beating both of the heels, who I know would be teaming together to try to take out Darby Allin.
Yep. So something that was kind of a knockout moment. I'm kind of sad because it's probably not going to happen as well as they would have liked because of the situation. Simon Miller was on AEW Dynamite.
That was great. That was great. Good shit. I do think MJF is going to be Sean Spears' partner. I think they're going to do a faction where, because MJF is obviously going to be the top guy. He's going to try to go for the AEW World.
I know, but I wanted to see like a one-off where they got Simon Miller to come and do one match for AEW. Like that would have been awesome.
I agree. That would have been great.
But now it's not happening now, obviously, because of current situations,
right.
Probably. Well, you can't travel.
I don't know. You know what I found out? The reason why they were able to do the show this week was because Tony Khan had a private jet, and he just picked up everybody with a private jet.
So maybe he'll pick up Simon Miller.
They're very now as eerie as it will be. That's why I see Dynamite continuing, because I think just because of that alone. And the show was great, even though there wasn't crowd. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but it was still a good show. Like, you wouldn't have even. It wasn't an eyesore. Like with the WWE, what they did when they did the empty arena shows, and Mike can attest to this, is that it was a fucking eyesore because you could see that it was just lifeless, no people in the arena, and they illuminated the whole PC. Whereas when AEW went to Daly's place, they only put a spotlight for the ring. They had pyro. They had the AEW screen, the tunnel, the chandelier, the tunnels. That's all they had, and nothing was out of the ordinary. They didn't even show the bleachers, and they had the heels on one side of the crowd and the baby faces on the other to make some noise.
That's awesome.
They did it better. The AEW did a dire situation better than the WWE did. It's like they could do no wrong right now. Like, they're on a roll.
Oh no, yeah. Honestly, but yeah, I still want to. Yeah, but yeah, pretty much. Sean Spears has been asking for a tag team partner. He's been asking people to put in videos. They showed some of the videos. The wrestlers were other than Simon Miller, and honestly, I didn't really care about anybody else but Simon Miller. So it was like,
there was a couple people that impressed me. I just didn't know their names off the top of my head.
I mean, I just want, maybe because I'm just, I wanted to see.
You're one for What Culture, and that's why you want Simon Miller. And listen, yeah. I am too. I give him a business card for fuck's sake, but chill.
But Mike, you haven't talked. What do you think of all this stuff, the Simon Miller, Finn, and everything else?
I think it's good. And to clarify what James said earlier, yeah, you're not going to believe who they got to be the leader of the Dark Order. I completely forgot till I just looked it up, like right now.
Yeah, it's great. And
the
promo was phenomenal.
Because when I watched it, I was half asleep, and I went, "Oh, right."
Well, tell me.
I'm not
also on this show.
How about Mike? What about Darby Allin? Darby Allin or MJF possibly being the inaugural workhorse champ?
I think it's good because Darby's put in a lot of work, and so has MJF. So I think it would make more sense for it to be MJF than Darby for right now because of the fact
if it was a triple threat between Sammy, MJF, and Darby, would it make more sense for Darby to go over in that sense?
I say it depends. I've always said that if you're going to have anybody be your first champion, never make it the huge baby face, always make it the heel. So that way everybody's gunning for the championship that is a face.
Right. That's fair enough.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
What I think though is you can have him hold it for a bit and then have him drop it to Sean Spears or whoever.
So then Jim Ross interviewed John Moxley. That interview was awesome.
Great too. Oh my god, this show is an S rank now. The more I think about it.
Yeah, right. John Moxley talks about how he says he's hurt. He doesn't give really much of what his physical medical condition is, but he just says he's hurt. He's pissed he can't be at Dynamite.
They're paranoid because he lied about his eye injury, and just like that pandemic we have right now, they can't trust him, so they keep him home.
Right? And he said that he basically is built. I think he's built up to a match between him and Jake Hagar because he dropped Jake Hagar's name a lot. Yeah, I think he's gonna take Nick Jackson's place probably in the Blood and Guts match probably, and he's probably gonna be in the match probably.
He might.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And then the only other thing that
wasn't there a women's match too that was also very good?
Yep. Well, what do you guys think of the interview with John Moxley? Did you like it?
Very good. Jim Ross has always been great at his interviews, and it really gives legitimacy to every star that gets an interview with him. Like Santana was made after his interview with Jim Ross. John Moxley was already a star, is an even bigger star because Jim Ross had a great interview with him.
Isn't it crazy though that WWE had him? And yeah, they thought he was too old to do the comp, but they never use him for the interviews. Like they really could have used him.
How stupid is that? Thinking about it now.
Yeah. Well, Mike, what did you think of the interview with Jim Ross and John Moxley?
I thought it was good. It was very good.
Then the only other thing that else that really happened on Dynamite was we had the two women segments. Both we had the match. It was Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida versus Bea Priestley and Nyla Rose. I like the match.
I love that match. That was a very good women's tag. They were very tag heavy this episode too, and I like that.
The only thing they need to get away from is they need to stop just throwing women matches on there randomly. They need to
I agree. I fully agree with that. That being said, I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it seems like it's an every week thing, so we need to kind of. You
know what? Here's the only thing that did offend me, and this is a legitimate thing. I think that you need to figure out what moves Nyla Rose can take that doesn't make her look like she's cooperating with the move, because a giant woman like her should not, and I repeat, should not be in a crucifix bomb, and they did it again in this match.
Yeah.
There's no reason why she couldn't just stop them dead in their tracks and just hit the white noise or something. Like, there's no way she shouldn't have been able to do that.
But they won. Nyla Rose hit the Beast Bomb on Hikaru Shida, and afterwards Bea Priestley attacked her. So we're probably setting up like some type of women's title match between Bea Priestley and Nyla Rose.
Fine. I'm fine with that.
Bea Priestley has to get on the. She's on the top 5 though. She's got to get on the ranking system first. She's not even there yet. So, but they do have ways.
We'll see what happens. Every man and woman for herself, at least. At least they have continuity in that respect.
And there is a way. There is a way around it. They gave the Lucha Bros a tag title match, and they weren't even ranked number 1. So.
Well, yes, but I believe they beat. I believe their excuse was I think they beat. They actually pinned one half of the tag team champion. I think it was Hangman, didn't they? And that Hangman tag. So that was their excuse. That was their out. Not to mention that the last match that Omega and Hangman had before Hangman turned into a drunk was the Lucha Brothers beating them.
Yep.
So
then later on in the show, though, they definitely make up for. They set up a women's feud. Britt Baker, DMD, Dr. Britt Baker came out and
Big Swole, which I'm really looking forward to. Britt Baker came out with this Tony Schiavone Starbucks cup again. Please put those on the AEW shop. I want one. And she insulted the crowd. Did a great job with that as always.
Yeah.
Sounding like Big Brain. I have big brain. And, just say a bunch of this, mumbo jumbo dentist shit. Got good heat with the crowd. And then, freaking Ariel Monroe or Big Swole comes out and basically mentions the only reason or Britt Baker says, the only reason you're here is because of who your husband is. Cedric Alexander, for the casuals that don't know. And she's like, look who's talking, baby.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't
girlfriend of Adam Cole, baby.
That wasn't it, though. What she said was, you're not the most relevant wrestler in your house. Your boyfriend is. And then she says, I'm married, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, wow. I'm shocked. You didn't even have notes. The fact that you remembered that word for word, I'm impressed.
I did see it I did, in all fairness, see it a couple
Why did you have me do the promos again?
In all fairness, I did see it. I did see it a couple of days ago. I didn't watch it live, so my memory of it's probably bigger than you.
Fair enough.
And also, I just remember stuff like that. I'm weird like that. Like, I don't remember all words, but words like that, like, you remember. Like,
fair enough. This Dynamite is an S rank, man.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with it. The only thing that was really bad was just the fact that Nyla Rose took bumps, like women, like bumps from women that were like twice her size. Other than that, I don't even care. It didn't hurt the match. It didn't overly offend me. Like, I like the structure of the show. The structure, like, made me pass that. Yeah, S rank. It was good.
Only thing that offended me was that they kept throwing women's tag matches and like women matches together, just random. But I think they fixed it later on in the show with Dr. Britt Baker, Big Swole, like set up to a match. It looks like it looks like they're having a match on this week on the next episode.
Just fine.
What about you, Mike? What did you think of? What do you think of the women's segment, and then what do you grade Dynamite?
I would grade Dynamite a good S, and I thought the women's segment was interesting. I won't say it didn't hold my attention, which was good.
I'm guessing that was the Big Swole Dr. Britt Baker one that didn't hold your attention, or was that the tag match?
Yeah, it was one of those things that I was cutting in and out most of the time when I was watching it.
But then when you heard the promo, I was like, all right, this is good.
Yeah, I'm back.
The only thing we have left to review is AEW Dark from this week.
Do we really want to? Why don't we just save that for you know what? Let's save it for the next rundown.
Yeah, because
that would probably make more sense.
All right, we're done then. We have nothing left to review.
Thank God. You know what? I'm looking forward to Dynamite this week if they have it. I hope they do, because watch this show from this week. It was very good, and I recommend that to both of you because, like, they did this great. I mean that. It was a very good show. Still, I will say this will definitely not be an S rank, only because there's a lot of botches. But I'm gonna give them a pass considering they didn't have a crowd to talk over the spots, and they pretty much had to just memorize and kind of telepathically communicate. So that, you know, Matthew from Botchamania wouldn't be like, ooh, I got that. You talk too much, you know?
The only other news sites I got to say, by the way, is I forgot to. So we possibly know the women's tag title match at WrestleMania. This news did come out, though, before everything happened, but it's possibly going to be, this could still be the match. The Kabuki Warriors defended against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and the Divas of Doom. But that might not happen now. It might change.
Why are honestly, I don't think the Divas of Doom need that match.
No.
Honestly, Beth Phoenix is 100% healthy. If you're going to have her make appearances at WrestleMania, just put her on the fucking show. Honestly, that women's division needs it badly.
Honestly, what I would just recommend is if they're going to be there, have her do some with the Randy Orton Edge match. Since,
yeah, I agree. Like, she shouldn't even be in a match. She should just be the manager of
yeah.
And have Randy Orton's fucking wife get involved. I don't care. Like,
so
do something in that regard. Don't put her in a random women's tag match that you clearly haven't given a shit about.
So this is an interesting news thing. WWE had some influence over some wrestling company in the UK. It's David Starr, actually, ironically enough. So David Starr, obviously, WWE has like these UK relationships. I forget which company this is, but he was like the champion of the show. He had like a loser leaves town match, and WWE pretty much, booked him to lose pretty much because they were. I think, from what I'm getting at, they were upset with him because his whole character is that he completely buries WWE's independent contract situations and the NXT UK brand. So I think WWE wanted him out of there. So they basically kind of like fired him out of that.
Wow, that's fucking bullshit. Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he's telling the truth, you're gonna. Oh my god.
And then later on, he went on Twitter and said, "Freedom of speech does not mean you're not gonna have consequences," and that was, I guess, his consequence. So, Mike, what do you think of that news story? Because that sounds like this something that's up your alley. You want to talk about?
I'm good.
I think, dude, honestly, we've talked about it like ad nauseum of how bullshit the independent contractor status is in WWE. That like, what's the point? Honestly,
Ricochet might be going to NXT. Yeah, Ricochet might be going to NXT. This obviously comes off the back of after he lost the block.
For the love of God, I hope. Oh, for the love of God, I hope.
This
Please
comes
bring him
off the
back
back after with the way he's been used. He lost the WWE title match to Brock Lesnar in like 90 seconds at what Saudi show was.
Actually, you know what? I guess I do have one more rant in me. You know what? I said please bring him back there. But do they really have to? Or should they better their, I don't know, Raw and SmackDown? Yeah, that's about it. That's all the rant I have left in me. There you go.
All right. Well, you folks enjoy the rest of this video. I have to go out and go do some stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want to plug anything before you leave?
No.
Actually, you know what, Mike? Before you go, we should plug the show.
You can do that. I have to go.
No, I'm saying the announcement or the possibility of such. We might as well just announce it here. Fuck it.
Fair.
Okay. So
as of the current status, James and I have about 3 months of WIW fully recorded. We only have a couple matches left on one pay-per-view, but that's like minor nonsense at this point.
that we're going to be able to do this weekend, God willing, that they don't, shut down the state with no fatalities yet.
They shut down they shut down the state. I show up at the White House.
Right. Anyway,
I'm just putting it out there. Because of the current environment that's going on since the end of February, beginning of March, James and I have been are hoping to get more stuff done, but at the current situation and climate of things, we may have to postpone WIW for an extra year, but we're not sure. We're going to make a
sure yet, but we're going to make the announcement here now. We're going to make an announcement later on the WIW channel and the Jay Hubert side channel that the series could be delayed till April 2022. We don't want to do it.
Yeah. As James and I have talked about, we really don't want to have to do this more than anything else. We really don't want to have to fucking postpone it another year. But in case if something happens, because we have a specific release date of when we're supposed to have the next batch of content for the channel, that doesn't mean you guys aren't going to get anything on the channel. We're at least going to keep putting some stuff.
What we're gonna do, and we've already talked about it. Just if it happens, I'm not saying it's happening yet, but if it happens, 2021 you will still get content. What we are going to do is we are going to be releasing, and this has been highly requested by everybody anyway. We're going to be releasing WIW matches from the Gold Rush season in its entirety, one by one, all the way up until the final, from the beginning match of the Gold Rush tournament all the way to Immortal, with a 5-minute document series in between, getting over both characters, getting them over as people if they don't already have a promo already, and then posting it right to the channel, so that way it's one match as opposed to it being time-coded. So if that happens, that's what we're going to be doing. And I will say, if you hear the state of Massachusetts is, what do they call it? I knew what it was called before. The shelter, if they enact a shelter-in-place law, then WIW will be delayed until 2022, because there's no way we're going to be able to control that at that point. As much as we would like to, but at this point, I'm preparing for that. That's what we're going to be doing. It may not happen. This may not be the case. But in case if it does, that's our backup plan. It's still to release content in 2021. The same content, but match by match. And behind the scenes at that point will not be on Owen's channel and Casey's channel. It will just be straight to the WIW channel. That would probably be the best course of action. So if it happens, that's what we'll be doing in 2021. Then 2022, we should have, that season done, and that will be the 52-week stretch. Hopefully it doesn't have to happen, because I hate the fact that we even have to delay it another year because of this bullshit that everyone completely overblown. But, it is what it is. So that's our backup plan.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
See you
And
later.
if you guys do want to follow us on WYW for any updates involving this, go to youtube.com/user/WYW Pride. And if you don't want to watch a video, because for some reason, because we don't have enough subscribers, I can't do like a community post. If you want to just read about it, go to youtube.com/user/JHebertSide95. In the next 3 weeks, we're probably going to make a final determination on what we're going to do, because it very well may happen regardless. We'll see what happens.
All right,
There you
boys.
go.
I'll talk to you guys
See you
later.
later.
All right, peace, Mike.
Like, all right, let's quickly go through these news. So I'm not going to break down the Huawei is declining because that kind of is, not really much of a factor now. Razor might be injured. He got injured at that 8-man tag team match. He said he might have gotten a shoulder injury. So
This is a bad time to be injured, considering they're overloaded in the hospital still, which I do believe that at least part of it is true, because even though it's not a lot of people as far as billions are concerned, it's still enough people that you're not going to be able to fit everybody in a hospital.
I do want to say I'm glad this week I chose to make the Google Docs writing all the new stuff down because I definitely needed it after this week.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
WWE's filing for trademarks. There's been so much news, though, I don't remember what trademarks are going for. So go on Ward Coach's video about it, and they'll tell you. So
there you go. We'll put it in the description there.
The British Bulldogs now in the Hall of Fame, finally. It was announced.
Tiger, also the final inductee in the class of 2020.
That's exciting. It was announced on this After the Bell podcast, and they put the video up on their YouTube channel. The whole Dynasty, everybody was there talking about memories they've had. What memories do you have about the British Bulldog?
Well, it's ironic I mentioned Jushin Thunder Liger. I remember the match between Jushin Thunder Liger and even though it wasn't the British Bulldog, Dynamite Kid. And the other memory I have is British Bulldog Bret Hart. So
yeah.
It's ironic that two of the most dynamic light heavyweight wrestlers in wrestling history are both being inducted into the same class. And again, they probably were already Hall of Famers anyway. I guarantee you the actual Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame probably inducted Jushin Thunder Liger and British Bulldog way before WWE did. But
absolutely. I mean, obviously,
it's still good, and at least they're getting recognized when they're accomplished. Even though for Bulldog it's been like 5 years too late, and Liger it's been like Liger's. I feel like Liger might be the only WWE Hall of Famer that was inducted right when he should have been. Is like the year he retired.
Yeah, well, technically Edge, but he retired. He was forced to retire though, so.
Yeah. But that's about it, right?
Vince McMahon's outraged. This came from last week. He's outraged. I mean, obviously, he's probably not even focused about this, but apparently last week, Cain Velasquez and Ronda Rousey showed up to the WWE headquarters.
Yeah, I know about this. Just skip over this. This is so dumb that he was outraged that Triple H. Was it Triple H that was hanging out with them?
It was so it was Cain Velasquez and Ronda Rousey, and Cain Velasquez posted it on his social media, and it was never supposed to be known, so that's why he got pissed. Because it was supposed to be like a secret meeting that they were having with each other. So
well, there goes their pushes because Vince McMahon's a fucking idiot.
By
the way, how's it Cain's fault?
Triple H is secretly demoted recently.
I wonder how. I'm giving NXT 4 weeks, and if I see de-improvement, I'm not watching anymore. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's scary signs for NXT.
Yeah, because he was originally like the overseer of NXT, and now he just does the promoting internationally. There's a list for it, and I believe I forget who took Triple H's job, but that really sucks. Apparently, they say it's been like this for 3 months, so it was more secretive. So that's I think a good sign.
That would explain why we have had the somewhat bad angles that we've had on NXT and a rushed NXT aftermath show after Portland.
Yeah. So this might not be the best thing. This is William.
Yes.
Let's move on. We already talked about Joseph Liga. Alberto Del Rio might be returning to WWE.
Yeah, I'm not shocked about that. I mean, it was going to happen regardless. Although I think he's an idiot, and if it were me, he should have just gone to AEW where he would have been better utilized.
Yes. You know me, I don't like Alberto Del Rio anyway, so go to WWE and be buried. I don't care. So.
The funny thing is, we didn't like Alberto Del Rio as a character. I'm sure he's a shit human being now, although supposedly he's better now. So, like, I'm all, as I said with Tessa, I'm all for second chances. So,
yeah,
I'd much rather, as a character, and the way WWE utilized him, I'd much rather him go to AEW. That's just me. Especially if they do what I think they're going to do in 2 years' time, which is buy out Impact, and they have the global title on one show and the world title on Dynamite, I'm sure. Like, you're going to want Alberto Del Rio, because when I think of global, I think of, like, international. So, like, Alberto Del Rio, Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, if you can get him in there and have him make appearances, like, that would be cool. So, I'm just saying, there's a lot more opportunities for Del Rio and AEW than WWE. That's just me.
Yeah. WWE's account was cryptic. Apparently, they had this.
That was just to further their angle of the hacker or whatever the fuck, which I guarantee you is Killer Cross.
There you go. And they also sent out a cease and desist on an indie company. Apparently, they used a company called one of their shows. Like,
what is it?
An indie company. Apparently, so WWE used to run In Your House. Apparently, an indie company called one of their shows they basically used the In Your House logo, and they basically called it like something else. It's not In Your House, it's something else. And the WWE issued a cease and desist.
The Outhouse.
Huh?
The Outhouse.
I think it's something like that, actually. Yeah.
That would be the first thing I would do. That's stupid. Don't do that. Don't do that.
WWE offered a cease and desist on that. We already went through all the shows that
The only way you do it is to give WWE like. There's a way you can get around it. You would have to let WWE get royalties from the name, but still host the event. That's the only way you can do it.
That's the only time. That's the only thing you're on WWE side for of all these stories we just shared right now. So,
or you could do what we do and just be a non-profit company.
Exactly. AEW story, the only real story other than that the shows have been like postponed. The show me and James are going to go to is postponed to August 5th, which we're kind of happy about because it might be better to go in the summer.
Time for us anyway, to be honest. I'm looking forward to it more now than I was then because now it's going to be in the summer, and I'm like, yay.
We found out.
And it's going to be building to All Out, I'm sure.
AEW, we found out what the company was going to be called. Tony Khan was on a podcast recently, and he said he wanted to call it.
He's going to call it, what was it?
Best Wrestler in the World or something like that. Like,
no. Fuck, what does he say?
Was it Best Elite Wrestling?
No, it was Best. It was World. I don't remember. I had to look it up. I remember. I did remember, and now it's slipped my mind. But
it's hilarious.
It was something retarded. It was something stupid.
And you can see it's a good thing. Imagine he just started this without the elite. It would have been called that.
All I think of is thank God Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes came in when they did, because we would have.
Can you imagine?
Fucked.
Can you imagine what
that would have been worse than TNA?
Yeah. Then the only Impact Wrestling news is Scott Steiner's status. Apparently, Scott Steiner was at some tape-ins. He collapsed backstage.
Right.
He was rushed to the hospital. Scott D'Amore, Tommy Dreamer, and other people from Impact Wrestling visited him in the hospital.
Steiner, please don't pass away. We need you now more than ever, my dude. Oh, we need you now more than ever. At least for two reasons. One, Shoonie's chicken, and you can ship it out to people that are in need. And two, we need promos.
Yeah.
Just
But
cut
I hear he's
just cut promos on the virus, please.
I hear he's fine now. I hear he's getting better, so that's good.
Good.
Yeah, that was the only other news. Everything else was we kind of broke down earlier with all these shows getting canceled. So
wasn't there news about NWA suspending their operations until further notice as well?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because of this bullshit, which
No.
again, fucking people overreacting ridiculously.
So there's no what's the name of that cup they're gonna do? That's
no Crockett Cup. At least no Crockett Cup for the time being. They're probably going to delay it by at least 2 months.
ROH has just suspended their show.
ROH is also probably on the way of suspending, even though it's not. I don't think that's official yet. But if NWA did it, ROH is soon to follow that they're going to be suspending operations.
Yeah.
Because of this shit.
If you think about it, NXT UK is going to be the most unique show because they're the only ones wrestling right now in front of NXT UK and Impact. They're taped and all the way. They're the only ones in front of a crowd right now.
Yeah, so that's going to change dramatically. There may not even be 205 or NXT or anything.
Yeah.
It's a shit time. It's a shit time right now.
Absolutely.
So,
I don't know what's happened with NXT.
As I said before, this all could have been avoided.
We didn't say one thing we missed. WrestleMania not only is it number 4, it's hosted by Gronkowski, and it's going to be a 2-night event now this time.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of it. I don't care. Look, I don't envy them in this situation. It's not all their fault. But what is their fault is what I mentioned, what they could control. They made it an eyesore. They're going to make WrestleMania an eyesore with no crowd there. I think that was the stupidest thing they could have done. I think they should have just canceled the event. Straight up cancel. Or not even cancel, but postpone the event.
Yeah.
Hello? Give me a minute because we're about to wrap up. I'll be out there in 2 minutes. All right, let's wrap this up because I gotta help my dad out, bring in the soda, and then I gotta.
Yeah, we're pretty much done anyways. This was a long episode because we had so much news and such to break down.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, at least it was only we're running on 3 hours and 20. So, I'll be quick. I already promoted the WYW stuff with that announcement. You guys can follow me. I already promoted my personal channel. You guys can also follow me on Twitter at jhebertside95. That's JHEBERTSIDE95. That's also the same for my YouTube channel URL, youtube.com/user/jhebertside95. And also check out my Instagram at jhebert95, no side. And yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah, for me, obviously, I want to talk to ASCM Brothers. I don't know what the future is for those channels right now because we were going to do some videos this week, but definitely we're going to keep plugging along.
You know what? At this point, you probably can. If there's no wrestling to be had, not a lot.
Yeah.
Why you can.
Still going to be plugging along with this channel. I don't know how often you'll be on because there's no NXT related stuff. Dynamite you can be on for, but
Dynamite I can be on for. That's probably all we're going to be able to cover, to be honest. That might be the only wrestling show left.
Yeah. We'll be plugging along with main roster stuff.
Yeah.
At least I will be, anyways.
I'm definitely not reviewing the main roster. I'll tell you that.
By the way, do we finally have...
By the way, Chris Dodd, get your ass on this show for once and cover the main roster shit. I'm not bailing you out this time. I'm not doing it again. Period. Fuck that.
Quick question. We finally have that situation we've been talking. You know what rundown to post now. You finally have the video.
Yeah, I have it all set. I'm gonna edit that one tonight and post it tonight. I'm gonna post both rundowns. Actually, no. I'm gonna post both of those rundowns tonight, and then this one is gonna go up on Friday. So you all are gonna see this Friday, but it's covering the week before that. After that, it should finally be back on regular schedule.
Because the only one you missed was when you and me reviewed Portland. That's the only one you missed. So
yeah, so there you go, done.
All right, that's pretty much it, guys. to you guys. I don't know when we'll do another video because of everything right now, but we'll
Yeah,
talk to you guys later.
but until next time, and hopefully,
Talk to you later.
bye.
Drinks. Make that work week all 5 days in the bucket. Fuck it, you got a boss who's a jerk who doesn't. Throw on some Wu-Tang, bring the motherfucking ruckus. There is no pretext. We are living and we love it on a budget. Never mind, we just nudge it to the side. Give the kids a little time. We are living till we die. Focused and we hustle, but we still be getting high. No exception to the rule. Do what you do to get by. Cause I keep ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling